drives in new roles every week, and I don't have a car, so I can't even drive that girl to leave. Once a month we clock in, like a 9-to-5 job. When we do, we both keep. She likes to party, I like playing Atari. She's out with her friends and I've already gone to bed. She thinks that I'm boring, I think she's way too horny. Stories getting on to me, my favorite part is gonna be the end. Her butt is super fat, it's bigger than my insecurities, and this'll never last. I hate the way I look, and so does she. Once a month we clock in, like a 9-to-5 job. When we do, we both keep. She likes to party, I like playing Atari. She's out with her friends and I've already gone to bed. She thinks that I'm boring, I think she's way too horny. Stories getting on to me, my favorite part is gonna be the end. She likes to party, I like playing Atari. She's out with her friends and I've already gone to bed. She thinks that I'm boring, she's extremely horny. Stories getting on to me, my favorite part is gonna be the end. Stories getting on to me, my favorite part is gonna be the end. She want a Cadillac coupe in the drive, a top bag ride. Small town girl, but she not that type. Shop all day, drink all night. Wake up in the city with the stars in a Cadillac coupe in the drive, a top bag ride. Small town girl, but she not that type. Shop all day, drink all night. Wake up in the city with the stars.
These girls on the gram, they got it all figured out. She want that LA lifestyle, that LA house. Don't like the small town nightlife, it's not enough. She need that 4 a.m., she need that LA drunk. She wanna party and get drunk off Bacardi. She's only getting started. Yeah, she got bigger dreams, finer things. She say
She want a Cadillac coupe in the drive, a top bag ride. Small town girl, but she not that type. Shop all day, drink all night. Wake up in the city with the stars in a Cadillac coupe in the drive, a top bag ride. Small town girl, but she not that type. Shop all day, drink all night. Wake up in the city with the stars. Ain't never felt the West Coast cold. This way of thinking isn't one I know. Not used to hearing about these hills that I was taking 101 drives, 30 minutes, 2 miles, you know.
yeah, I know. She want a Cadillac coupe in the drive, a top bag ride. Small town girl, but she not that type. Shop all day and drink all night. Wake up in the city with the stars in the
Cadillac coupe in the drive, a top bag ride. Small town girl, but she not that type. Shop all day, drink all night. Wake up in the city with the stars. Don't need a 4x4 for a 6-lane highway. Just need my girl with the keys and a car waiting on us in the driveway. Look, she want a Cadillac coupe in the drive, a top bag ride. Small town girl, but she not that type. Shop all day, drink all night. Wake up in the city with the stars in a Cadillac coupe in the drive, a top bag ride. Small town girl, but she not that type. Shop all day, drink all night. Wake up in the city with the stars. Said I ain't gonna stop till she gets one. Said I ain't gonna stop till she gets one. No, I ain't gonna stop till she gets what she wants.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is another episode of Nerdy Live in the morning, and the camera is slightly off. Hang on, let me fix that real quick. There we go. Anyway, guys, it's another Nerdy in the morning, Nerdy Live. How you guys doing? So, first off, okay, hope you guys had a fantastic Thanksgiving, and I hope those of you who did some Black Friday shopping, hopefully you kept the body count low. I don't know. I see it's crazy what kind of stories you hear about during Black Friday, because like all you hear about is like, oh yeah, so like there's this guy and he killed this old lady over a toaster that was like 25% off. I mean, it was crazy. But regardless, guys, it is now the Christmas season, guys. It's December 1st. Hope you all have hope you all have what you want on your Christmas list. And let's take a moment and enjoy the holiday cheer. How I'm going to be enjoying it is now up until Christmas, obviously. Every episode of Nerdy Live, I'll start off with a Christmas song. This episode we started off with Last Christmas, one of my personal favorites. And we are not going to be playing All I Want for Christmas because that song haunts me still. It haunts me to this day. Sweden's Black Friday is in 3 weeks. Oh my god. Shanry's got 3 weeks to plan out a murder spree. Also too, guys, today I've been procrastinating a bit with it, admittedly, but today I am going to be uploading the Troublemakers episode where we go over the Himpleton stuff. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and God, that was something. But guys, okay, Bo Blacks has finally kind of like made a proper response, and he's apologized for his behavior and past transgressions. Okay, let me just move the window slightly so that way we can get the full thing. All right, so here it says, earlier this year, I had a mental health crisis that let me get ahead. I'm sorry, let me restart that. Earlier this year, I had a mental health crisis that I let get out of control, hurting many of my friends in the process. I let my worst tendencies and paranoia bubble to the surface and was too stubborn to accept accept advice of any kind, despite asking for it anyway. I was really just wanting confirmation bias for my own feelings at the time. I did start seeking professional medical help in late July, but instead of letting myself recover after starting to get help, I was again very stubborn and pushed ahead, ignoring all the warnings that I needed to chill out before continuing to make drama content. Because my psychotic rant to Nick from July was the catalyst to me realizing something was horribly wrong, I felt very guilty and felt it was my responsibility to update him and let him know how things were going in order to make things right or better somehow. Though my need to find an answer for this, I jumped to BPD and started telling Nick and others that BPD was the answer, even though I didn't have confirmation from medical professionals. I don't know why I thought that was how I'd make up for that, because it makes no sense, but regardless, I fucked up. I'm sorry to him and others who were just trying to help me. So he's finally like somewhat admitted to everything that happened. It was I don't know. I don't think this is going to save his career. I think what he really needs to focus on is just making content and improving on it, right? Because Connor showed with just 10% more effort with his Internet Versus series, it could be popular, man. The only reason why Connor's not doing Internet Versus right now is because YouTube's being stupid, and for some reason they decided to not monetize him for reusing content, you know? It's really dumb. And the fact that Boblax has had no competition and has done so little in terms of uploading and has just like ruined dude, I get it, Connor was your editor, but like come on, dude. Like it can't be that hard to make Twitter verses, man. It can't be that hard. You just got to screenshot a tweet, make sure the background's the same color as your screenshot. Bam. There you go. Instant money. Instant money when it comes to YouTube. Nicholas Diorio saw what happened and responded. So let me readjust that again. Here we are. He says, some people take this comment out of context, so I'll spell it out for you idiots. I have no regrets with any piece of content I publish about Boblax. I related to the stuff he said to me that that's not what the tweet is about. If you want to remove all agency from Josh and claim I alone caused him to act and say things he did while also not posting relevant content to his main channel, I'm not going to stop you. I'm not hiding from anything. All my shit is public. With that being said, I personally reject the losers who watch me and need my permission to watch his content again. I made content explaining why I personally dropped Josh, and that's the extent of it. I'd rather not indulge dumb people who need me to endorse people I don't like. There is no house. I don't hold any of the keys. Commentary is bigger than this small sector would have you believe. And like, if you want to watch Boblax, I mean, that's up to you. I mean, I don't, admittedly, I only watched his content when it was like for relevant content, and it seems like he's not gonna be doing that in the future, or if he does, he's gonna try and inject more personality into it, which, no offense, man, but like we already have like a ton of that, you know. I genuinely do hope he gets the help he needs, because clearly he needs it, and this sucks. I wish this whole situation never happened to begin with, you know? But Boblax is going to Boblax, you know? Boblax is going to Boblax. And, you know, with this small sector of commentary, so something funny happened. So Hellbent actually made a video, like her own video, on the Jake Weddle situation, which we're going to be watching here shortly. But we have this right here. So it seems that Hellbent caused quite a stir with her video. Apparently this is Lex posting from an alt threatening legal action. Honestly, I think her and Jake are made for each other, lol. And Lex, if this is Lex's account, she says, saved a hard copy of that video to send to our attorney in case you dirty delete. Thank you for making their job easy. Fuck. Let me sue this like random person on the internet who made a video about my boyfriend. Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Hang on. Jake Weddle. Jake Weddle wants to sue. There we go. That's the title of the stream now. But, you know, let's see the slanderous actions of Hellbent. Holy crap, that's an IRL Hellbent. You know, let me readjust everything. All right, here we go.
I spent $3 to take Jake Weddle's comedy workshop. Turns out, Jake Weddle may struggle to run a marathon, but he'll have no issue running his mouth about Mr. Beast. Jake Weddle is an alleged comedian who, after a decade of stand-up grind, finally found himself in the spotlight by becoming the first person outside of Ukraine and Palestine to suffer from war crimes.
That's a war crime!
Dude, like, the fact that, like, we found out the context of him thinking it's a war crime, and that it was just his friend trying to cheer him up by saying, ha ha ha, this looks like a war crime, and he's, like, taking that to heart.
After joining the team of disgruntled Avengers, alongside treacherous twink and Mickey Feet Woman, Jake Weddle drew an overwhelming and likely unexpected amount of public attention. But it doesn't matter what you get famous for. What matters is what you do with the sudden fame. So I was intrigued to see whether Jake was going to sink or swim. In fact, I decided to find out for myself by taking the comedy workshop that Jake advertised at the end of one of his videos.
My Patreon is going to have a writer's workshop this Sunday.
But Def Noodles did the thing where he's like, "Oh, well, I went to comedy school. I learned comedy." Listen, okay, like, obviously to be funny, one, I think you kind of have to have some natural talent in order to be funny. But also, too, like, it's sort of like a trial and error type of thing. I don't think that's something you can really teach, especially if, like, you're trying to find your own rhythm when it comes to comedy. So
now I'm gonna run him. And if
yeah, dude, I can't wait. The guy that fucking says Dave Chappelle bags, he joked about trans. Can't wait to hear all your insights on how to be funny. No.
I could not find anything about this workshop. I checked Jake's YouTube, his Twitter, his Instagram, no mention of it anywhere. My Jewish heritage did not allow me to splurge on a Patreon membership without first at least trying to pry some information out of Jake via Instagram comments. Yet, for once in his life, Jake remained silent, so I gave up and forgot about it. Until he brought the workshop up the next time, over a month later.
join my Patreon, where we have comedy writing workshops every single Sunday. Whoa, organic plug. That's right, Patreon members who join with a $3, $5, or $10 subscription, anybody gets access to the code to the Discord that brings us to the...
I mean, especially if like fucking Jake Weddle is teaching you how to be funny. I mean, first off, you want funny to begin with. If you gotta have Jake Weddle teach you how to be funny. But I mean, like, come on, dude. If you're gonna like have like, if you want to learn how to be funny, watch a successful stand-up comedian. Watch how they do things. Jake Weddle is not known for being a comedian. Jake Weddle is known for being the guy who was on a Mr. Beast challenge and failed and cried about it and got money from it. That is all he's known for.
Ugly Duck workshops. We talk about jokes. We punch up jokes. People bring jokes. I bring jokes. I am going on tour. I gotta work on my jokes. We talk about comedy theory. Why is that joke funny?
Why is the joke funny? Why is the joke not funny? These are important things you will learn from my comedy workshop. By the way, fucking, what was it, $5 and $10 for this shit? Nah.
Comedy theory, guys.
Or maybe we
Comedy theory with Jake Weddle.
just shoot the shit. and
Does that
talk
sound worth
about
paying
comedy.
for?
Regardless, they are the highlight of my month.
Jake Weddle explains the joke to you in
Okay.
Discord VC.
This was a big time for the Avengers. They just dropped a few hard-hitting videos. So I accepted defeat and took the plunge. There was still no further information available online that I could see, so I was not sure how people were finding and joining this workshop. And then I paid the Patreon fee and realized that they don't. Out of Jake's 90 patrons, I saw maybe 5 be active across the 2 chats that become available once you pay the fee, and neither of the chats contain any useful information about what, where, how the workshop is. But at least after I asked those questions, I was invited to the dedicated Discord and set for the first session that Sunday. Before I tell you what happened at and after the workshop, I would like to clarify my intentions. If you think that I'm a scheming, drama-hungry slop peddler who had malicious intentions going in, you are not wrong. I always expected the workshop to be dogshit in some shape or form, but I thought that if there were any content to be made from infiltrating it, it would probably be me goofing on Weddle for the lack of effort that he seems to put into anything that could make him money, and his inability to capitalize on this notoriety that he was handed.
The Jake Weddle channel is dead. My videos aren't doing well. That's all I'm saying. What have I been doing on the channel for the last 2 months? Well, I was throwing everything at the wall just to see what would stick. And that's apparently the only way to make nothing stick, apparently.
What I did not expect, however, is to end up making content in any way directly related to the anti-Mr. Beast crusade. I decided going in that although I might accept any juicy drama morsels that fall into my lap, it would be too shitty to proactively bring anything up, which is why I did not record the workshop at first. The structure of the workshop
Oh no.
was described by both Jake and his moderator as loose, meaning that if any participants wanted to bring jokes that they would like Jake's input on, they could. But if nobody brought jokes, then the hour would be spent shooting the shit. On the day that I attended the workshop,
So it's just like basically you're paying $3 or $5 or $10 just to hang out in like an exclusive Discord, which I mean, like that's like a standard thing. A lot of YouTubers have is that they have like, by the way, you pay for this tier, you get to hang out in the Discord server. Usually that's like the lowest tier that they have, and they're usually like bigger YouTubers. Because the whole idea of having like a Discord server, other than having people being groomed in it, is like you have a place where like your community can hang out in. It's easier for them to get notifications when your videos or live streams are being uploaded. And, you know, it's just a good place to have reach with the fans, you know, that type of thing. Like, granted, I don't know how active his Discord is, but like, with how small of a creator he is, it doesn't make sense for him to have like a Patreon exclusive Discord server. Like, for example, like technically, if you're a member of the channel, like my channel, you get an exclusive Discord role, but the Discord server is not membership exclusive, because like that would just like kill any momentum I have when it comes to like building up a community. And if you're advertising it as this is like how I teach you comedy, then it can't just be like people hanging out. It needs to be like, okay, so like this is what I learned to do. This is how I improved upon it. You know, if you're trying to be serious about the whole like comedy theory thing.
There were maybe 8 people in call, but other than myself, Jake, and Jake's moderator, I only heard one other person speak. Luckily, they did bring jokes, and Jake provided some suggestions on how to improve them. And you know what? From the writing perspective, I think any exercise is useful. So there you have it, my official review for the Ugly Dark workshop. Not entirely a waste of time. If the other sessions that month hadn't been cancelled, it would be almost worth the $3. Where things took a turn was when we ran through the pre-prepared jokes, and Jake playfully expressed his incredulity that nobody else brought anything. So I took that opportunity to recount how much effort I undertook to find out anything about this workshop. And to his credit, Jake admitted that he had not been putting much effort into the Patreon and the workshop, but he promised to do better once he's finally done with the Mr. Beast bullshit. And he also had...
You see, you can't be using like the Mr. Beast stuff as an excuse at this point. You like, obviously, like, he's in the wrong when it comes to the Mr. Beast situation. But he could have milked it a lot more than he did, right? Other than, like, let's see, he was in a vlog with that surprise witness. He was on the Rosanna video when they were, like, reviewing Lunchly. Other than that, he hasn't really been doing much of anything. Hasn't really been doing much of jack and shit. So what are we watching? We are watching Hellbent, who is, she is someone who makes the shorts and the thumbnails and the little character sprites for Now Recording. She's a very lovely person, and yeah, she's making content. This is a video about Jake Weddle's comedy course, which she took.
had some good news for us. Firstly, he had recently hired a paid assistant who would make sure that Instagram comments, such as mine, would not go unanswered again. I later found out that the assistant is Jake's girlfriend, but it's good to...
Oh my god. Listen, Jake Weddle. I thought you learned from the big guys. Don't be dating your assistants. Don't date your assistants. That's a power imbalance, buddy.
To know that she's being fairly compensated for whatever it is that she does. And secondly, Jake announced that we should be expecting some banging content in the near future. In particular, an interview on Rosanna Pansino's channel. From what I understood, it's supposed to blow some further lids off Mr. Beast's reign of terror. I know that counterfeit t-shirts were mentioned, but looking back, I'm not sure whether that is supposed to be in that interview or it has something to do with the plethora of other things that Rosanna and Doc Beck are apparently working on. And as much as the drama slot part of me would love to see that inevitable train wreck or an interview, the human part of me felt that I should at least offer the opinion that if the goal is to be finally done with the Mr. Beast bullshit, releasing any kind of content while Dogpack and Rosanna are actively getting dumpstered for the CP allegations video that they dropped just a few days prior may not be wise.
Alleged CP.
And this I decided to record.
To do with the wonderful people that I had met, and the trials and tribulations that I had to overcome and learn, and the support that I had received, and how I'm a different boy coming out of the LA trip. And
I'm a different boy coming out of the LA trip. Why the fuck you say it like that? Is that your comedy? Is how you you say bye?
That's going to be a very long form, very beefy. I'm really excited about that video. I've been cooking it up for a while, and I want to make sure it comes out when the and little fun fact: at the end of Rosanna's video, they actually let me do 5 minutes of stand-up in front of everybody that they could gather in Rosanna's studio.
What? So like 5-10 people? I doubt Rosanna's running like a big company, right? Like you're doing stand up in front of like 5 people, and it's like, what's the deal with airplane food? Am I right? I'm just imagining him being like a very unfunny like Jerry Seinfeld ripoff. He's like, yeah.
And then there's going to be a call to action to my channel as well. So that's both of those videos coming out. It's very, very exciting. So that's what I've been hunkering down and honing on these past couple of days.
Do you think it's wise to have that released, I guess, now on Rosanna's channel? Because
I know that the YouTube comment section and Twitter can be very, very, disheartening to see. But trust me when I say, give it time.
Trust me when I say.
And all of the stuff that has been coming out will be, the stuff that hasn't even come out yet is kind of nuts. There's a YouTube civil war going on. I am very, very comfortable with the side I've aligned myself with.
No, that's fine. But I guess the issue is that, at least to me, it seems like whatever morally and legally wrong things that need to be exposed, I'm sure they exist. But the problem is that with the approach that has been chosen, at least like, what it seems to me, there is just no credibility left after that. After basically Dogpack or whatever his name is, Dawson and Rosanna told that they had CP, downloaded it to censor it and reverse search it, and then they're so lucky that it wasn't CP, because otherwise they would have committed a crime.
Oh, I mean, I couldn't disagree with you more. I mean, that would implicate the FBI as well as like, oh, you guys watch CP? Yeah, well, I do think there's a huge difference between people trying to stop pedophiles versus people who are being pedophiles.
There's a difference between downloading all of the logs and not knowing that's in there, and specifically going out to get that picture and then send it to someone thinking.
Well, no, because like, you see, the issue was they reported it to the FBI, and then they were still on their YouTube channel being like, "Oh my God, is that CP? Is that CP?" Good on Hellbent, by the way, for standing her ground.
Yeah, but Dawson like specifically then got that image from the logs to censor it and reverse image search, believing at the time that that was CP. And the difference between him and FBI is that one is the authority that is obligated
and that's why
to handle
it's also reported to the authorities, and it was reported to the authorities long before...
It's good, okay? You reported to the authorities, which is something you should do. What you shouldn't do after that is make a video about how we have CP. Don't do a video called Don't do a video where you're reacting to CP alleged from fucking, oh my God, man. Jake Weddle, you're special.
Rosanna even said that she was reporting it to the authorities. Rosanna's been working with the FBI for quite some time.
Yeah, the point is that they should have reported it and left it there and downloaded it, censored it, reverse image search it, etc. That's just
everything that Rosanna's been doing has had the stamp of approval behind the scenes from the FBI.
Yeah, I guess I'm just saying, it's like the way it came out, it seems like the credibility is pretty shot. And I guess the other thing that I'm going to say, and you can disagree, you can disagree, of course. The other thing is that you just mentioned like the counterfeit T-shirts. I would say that's a useful thing for people to know, but I feel like this has been all over the place in terms of the breadth of allegations, because you kind of go from like, illegal lottery to sexual assault, hiring a sex offender, and then like unsafe environment, and then you go back to like counterfeit T-shirts. It's just like how, let's say like if you're reporting a crime to the police.
There's a lot.
No, so like usually, let me give you like how the documentary should be made. First off, you cover, it's an escalating thing. You want to cover all the small stuff first, the illegal lotteries, the counterfeit T-shirts, that kind of thing, right? Then you go into charity fraud, alleged charity fraud, keeping that in mind. And then you go to the essay stuff. That's usually how you do things. I don't think they quite got the memo.
To be addressed.
No, I get it.
To go over.
My point is, like if you are in a crime, right? And you're telling the police a story, and you say like, oh yeah, so this guy came in and he stabbed the shopkeeper, and then he stole my bike. Do you think they're gonna care about your fucking bike? Like, they'll be like, why are you even mentioning that? We need to like solve a murder. You know what I mean? Because like when you
here's the thing. They're all bad. They're all
they're all bad. I agree, and I think
when you go to court,
And no one's saying that, like like the alleged counterfeit t-shirts are good. It's very clear that like there's a level of severity here that needs to be focused on. I don't think Jake and whoever this person is understanding that too much.
You get convicted for all
the
of
proper authorities have been addressed in the proper, like all the videos that have been coming out have had the cosign of the authorities behind the scenes. And we have been working with the authorities behind the scenes the entire time. So when people come out and say, oh, well, yeah, well, they reported on this in a way that was, marginally not as successful as they could have, like, sure, I agree. We're not like the most well-trained, investigative journalists. We're just YouTubers trying to shed light on stuff. And, the proper authorities, have been aware and acknowledged and reported to and working with. So when people, come out and say, oh, well, I don't know, it's like we have to make sure we're not making any missteps when, the people who are getting away with crypto scams, pedophilia, fraud, anytime, we're not perfect, obviously, but.
I don't want to interrupt the conversation.
I really like Hellbent's editing too, by the way. This is pretty cool visually.
Or anything, but
really like
we only have a few minutes left, so if anybody has comedy bits they still want to talk about, things like that.
And the moderator's like, hey, how about we go back to like this being a comedy thing? How about that?
Fair point. It's just Jake asked if anybody had comedy bits, and then nobody said anything. So, but I do apologize for the derail. And honestly, like I'm not obviously, I don't want to come across as like I'm telling you to not say something, not to come out with something. I'm not saying that at all.
Oh no, yeah.
I was just kind of like,
I've heard a litany of these concerns every day.
I'm sure. I'm just saying, like, yeah, I haven't been like following it in too much detail, but to me, I guess as an outside observer, it just feels like that the allegations and masks are not very well structured, and that's kind of what I wanted to say.
Oh, sure. I mean, the things not being well structured, that feels irrelevant compared to the actual allegations themselves, especially when, as an insider.
Well, I mean, like, you want to make sure that you have everything structured right, so that way you can portray the allegations in a proper way. Because, like, for example, to kind of make a comparison, Dark Viper AU and Jack's Films, they kind of have the same point when it comes to like copyright stuff. They're very passionate about that type of issue. However, Jack's Films is able to better construct his arguments about how he feels about copyright, and so more people are willing to believe him and take his talking points, whereas Dark Viper AU, he's an insane man who compares reaction content to assault. So yeah, other than his like diehard fans, no one takes up his arguments, and he was very bitter about that. So you want to make sure your point can be correct, but if you don't express it in the proper way, you're just gonna be made fun of, or in this case, like you're gonna look terrible.
The proper authorities have been, connected and acknowledged.
No, I get that, but because if you're telling them to an outside audience, i.e. via YouTube, like, of course they're important, but like you have to present them in a structured way so people would understand what's going on. Otherwise, the impression is like it's a bunch of bullshit.
I'm gonna say I feel like they've been like I've watched the videos. They feel well structured. Like the last one I saw was the one where they were going over the group chats, and like, yeah, it's the same thing. You get the information you're gonna take.
Okay, this sounds like a kid. This sounds like a young adult or like a teenager. So I don't want to take. I don't want to show this person too much. But it's clear that they're just kind of like, oh, this good video because it's anti-Mr. Beast. I don't like Mr. Beast, so like, because this video makes fun of Mr. Beast, this is a good video.
Take it on all the time.
This is like the average Cam Nugget fan right here.
Anyway, I do have one more bit, actually. Thank you very much.
I do have one more bit, actually. Thank you very much. Dude.
Go first. I was dying to know more about Rosanna supposedly getting A-OK from the FBI to release that CP allegations video, but I still was not sure whether I was going to end up doing anything with this recording. It's goofy, but it's not much of a revelation that by that point Jake Weddle was standing by his buddies, and more importantly, I was struggling to find a justification that would allow me to drop the recording without feeling like total scum. So I figured I was just going to take the next workshop and see how things go then. It was going to be my last session because I was not going to give Jake Weddle $3 more. And then disaster struck.
Oh no, she did this right before the video. Oh.
Soggy Cereal's video was not good news for the team, and a few days after its release, Jake posted the following in the Patreon chat. Hey fellas, just want to be transparent with you all. With the Soggy video coming out, I have received a massive uptick in online harassment and threats against my life. I apologize for being MIA, as me, and now Lex, have had to deal with Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, and other various hate accounts targeting us. Pausing here for just a moment, it wasn't just Soggy's video, though, was it, Jake? Firstly, the comment that you left on the video probably didn't help. I'm not gonna lie, you would have been better off saying nothing, or...
Yeah, it's like... Don't, like... You poke the bear, then you're surprised that the bear attacked you, you know? Like... I think just from how he speaks, even in that Discord call, he seems like a very nerve-wracked person. Like, he seems like he's got a lot of issues going on in his life, and I'm not trying to judge him for it. It just seems like maybe he's not the best person to be, like, I'm not going to say he shouldn't be online, but maybe he shouldn't, like, constantly surround himself with controversy. Because it seems like that's what causes a lot of the issues for him, is that like he gets into like high, like very what's the word I'm looking for, it's very high profile, there we go, high profiled drama, like the Mr. Beast drama is like the biggest drama of the year, and he just can't handle it, man, and that's sad to see. That's really sad to see. Look, Jake, I think it's pretty clear that, like, no matter if, like, obviously you agreed to it, but it seems like you did suffer some, like, genuine trauma from the Mr. Beast challenge. I hope you're getting help from that, man. Obviously, in all seriousness, you should have been compensated, and I'm glad you were with the money. But, like, come on, dude. Stop getting yourself involved in this bullshit. Just stick to your comedy, or like become one of the LA like soy commentary guys, like Ethan is online.
Posting feet. And secondly, you probably should have told your girlfriend that she didn't need to defend your honor in replies to every 5-follower shitter on X.com. I feel like by this point, you shouldn't be surprised that this ended up attracting the attention of the fairly large streamer and known trans rights activist Chad Logic, who proceeded to
don't translate rights activists.
lampoon your girlfriend and her Honda Civic on stream, leading to Lex deleting both of her Twitter accounts and her Twitch channel.
Why the fuck would you do this? Why would you post an image like this and be so openly embarrassing and fucking pathetic? Please stop trying to peddle the Weddle. Oh my god. What?
But going back to the Patreon messages, I had a lot of videos planned and I'm still working on them. But taking care of my safety and mental health has taken prior. Okay. Me and Lex are okay and safe, do not worry, but I just wanted to be transparent and show my appreciation for you all. I would not blame anyone for leaving this platform, as it has been dry lately. But those of you who are still here mean the world to me. Once this beast bullshit is behind me, content is coming. Not that it matters, but everything I said was factual and they are lying about me. Heart emoji. I respond, hey Jake, thanks for giving us an update. Glad you and Lex are okay. Sorry you have had to deal with shitty people doing shitty stuff. As you know, I was critical of Dawson and Rowe even before the Soggy video. We briefly touched on it at the end of the last workshop. But harassment and death threats are never justified. Jake Weddle says, yeah, well, Dawson and Rowe have done far less awful shit. And Jimmy is being actively malicious. Dawson never purposely spread false info. Jimmy is. And encourages harassment. Those are some pretty strong...
I think it's pretty clear at this point, Dogpack has spread false stuff about people. In particular, his hiring manager, the one that was there when he got fired, because he's bitter about being fired because he can't handle he can't handle this.
Statements that nobody made you make, Jake. So I replied, hey, what is the false information that is being spread? And then I added another message saying, I'm not trying to argue, I would genuinely like to know what information isn't correct. And you'll notice that I'm not showing you these two messages on screen, and that is because I did not think to screenshot them before the moderator deleted them and muted me for 24 hours, saying this: "Hey yo, just a general statement for chat, we're not discussing this any further. We want to move on from any beast discussion." Moving on, and to change topics, lol, have you seen the picks for Game of the Year? Not gonna lie, I felt like I was treated unfairly. And if Jake Weddle taught me anything, is that I should not take that lying down. So I went into the other chat on the Patreon and said, seeing how I have been muted in the other channel, I would just like to point out that I was not the one to bring up the forbidden topic. Nor did I make Jake make several strong statements that I asked a non-combative follow-up question to. I'm perfectly fine with the rule of not discussing the topic further. I just want to note that I do not feel I quite earned the troublemaker treatment, to which the moderator responds, "You keep continuing it. You were frankly disrespectful during the workshop as well, so that is why action was taken."
Hellbent, ask a genuine question. You're being quite disrespectful. Quite disrespectful. Dude, Hellbent's been rather nice so far. Also, hey everyone watching. I know I haven't been interacting with chat too much. I hope you guys are having a good morning.
Against you. Well, I suppose taking 2 minutes to remember a less abrasive synonym to shitstir was not worth it. So, of course, I was now muted in both Patreon chats, and the next time I thought to check back on the Patreon, I found myself blocked, unable to see anything but the disturbing photo of an unshaven Jake Weddle, who's possibly the only man to look more like a pedophile without the mustache. And yet, there was
God damn, Hellbent.
hope that my martyrdom was not in vain, for the last screenshot that I took before I was blocked shows an unknown comrade picking up the torch of rebellion. They say, in part, when Jake, Dawson and Rowe were calling out others, discussing the Mr. Beast drama was completely fine. But now that the spotlight is on them, the topic is banned. I can't say for sure, of course, but this part makes me suspect that before my time, dragging Mr. Beast might have been a significant part of the shit-shooting portion of the comedy workshop. And with that, my...
Oh, yeah, it was... Oh my god, dude. That would... dude. If only one of us thought about doing this sooner. Like, imagine, like, going to his comedy workshop, like, as the Mr. Beast drama was going down. Oh, dude, the recordings of that would have been so interesting. Would have been so fucking interesting.
investigation is concluded. Based on the evidence presented, I find Jake Weddle retarded. I understand that he is no used to being a public person and was unprepared for the negativity and the backlash. And of course, neither Jake nor his girlfriend deserve any harassment or hate. Just like you don't deserve to be robbed if you go down a dark alley. However, if you keep going down the same dark alley, getting robbed every time, and you still keep returning, well, that's just a stupid thing to do. Combine that with the inability to take advantage.
But yeah, good on Hellbent for this. Really good video. Let me link it in chat for everyone. So that we... But that's not the only topic we have today. Not the only one. We also have the new JOON the King documentary that came out as well. Hang on, JOON the King. He did one on Metokur, and I wanted to check that out with you guys today. Here we go, Mr. Metokur.
Mr. Metokur,
the most famous internet troll,
is the most famous internet troll. One that, through his 16-year tenure, has built up a reputation with his involvement in things like Gamergate and internet blood sports, or even just his exposing of bathtub Ross.
Why were you looking up naked kids in bathtubs in the first place, Ross?
I thought, like, why not? Like,
I thought, why not?
Are you kidding me? Like,
it is his coverage of marginal yet aggressive communities that has earned him his fame, and it is his personality that keeps people coming back.
Totally not interested in two anthropomorphic robotic creatures getting each other gay pregnant.
Because Metokur is highly elusive. He disappears for months on end, yet viewership is easily regained because none can fill his void. He is someone that is largely anonymous yet highly well known. Someone that publicly attacking him only emboldens his existence. Someone that lives in a destabilizing environment yet remains consistent. He breaks all the rules and somehow always ends up on top. And this is his story. In 2008, there was a crop-up of Jim81Jim accounts made on various websites. Through the profiles of this individual, much can be extracted.
39-year-old male? Oh my god, Jim's older than I thought he would be. Jesus.
The nice thing about Stage 6 was you could upload a 5-hour video, a 10-hour video. They had like an adult-only section. You could have violence and sex, and they didn't care. It was a great website. And so when,
oh my god.
When DivX, they wanted to get their codec pushed in Hollywood, and part of the deal with that and the phone manufacturers they were working with was they had to get rid of the website. And they couldn't sell it to anybody. Microsoft, other people wanted to buy it. They refused to sell it. So they just shut it down. So what happened was there was, a large community of people. We had like all these little subgroups. People are like in anime, video games, whatever, all these different groups kind of got like thrown out. So we all started making our own little websites and our own little groups to kind of reach out to each other. So a lot of the accounts are kind of in relation to that.
From his Stage 6 profile, he introduces himself as James, and in his bio states he is 26 years old. That is where I get my handle from. Jim equals James. 81 year birth, Jim, equals what the hell. One more time and you get Jim81Jim. This is the same handle I use on every site, so more than likely, if you see a user with it somewhere else, it is me, unquote. On the right-hand side, along with sharing his interest of an archetypical nerd, he shares that he lives in Minnesota. And then on this account, while the information—
Not Minnesota. Dude, Minnesota. I want to move to Wyoming, if I'm being honest. That's like this. That's the least populated state. I would love to move there. June the King. Mr. Metokur video. Okay, let's continue.
Is lacking in the profile. The website itself is a Minnesota's writers group, again confirming his location and desire to be a writer.
The Minnesota's writers group, that was part of an English 101 class for an associate's degree.
From these three websites, it can be concluded that Jim81Jim was born on October 9th, 1981. His first name is James. He lives or lived in Forest Lake, Minnesota, and has an interest in writing and is currently attending college. This, as it was back then, is all accurate as Jim confirmed this information to be true on later dates. The purpose of being able to piece this information together is both understanding who Jim is, but also understanding why this was a mistake because of the environment he was going to enter.
I mean, I was fairly good about not having a lot of personal stuff up, and that's insane, right? When you, again, when I'm telling you, like, my original username was linked to the college I went to. Nobody ever figured that out, right? Isn't that weird? That nobody ever took a minute to look through the website and be like, oh shit, this is an English composition class. But this is the school he goes to, right? Nobody ever did. I ended up getting doxxed initially, like back in the day during Gamergate. And I got doxxed not because I had like pieces of personal information out. Somebody hacked into my PayPal.
As seen on his Vio account, Jim made AMVs or anime music videos. This one is titled Oran Gay Bar AMV. While this video is inaccessible, it is understood that this was unserious. It was made as a joke, as implied by the profile flavor text. Quote, I am me to myself alone, unquote. What's more, on his Stage 6 profile, he was uploading his prank calls as Mr. Roger and Joe Pesci. But that was not all.
Hi everybody, this is—
Oh dude, I would love I would love to find a copy of those.
Jim81Jim, and I decided to do a video because I'm frankly blown away. I'm blown away by the fact that this even exists. We're talking a half a page up from his donate button, begging you for money so he can keep this shitty little fucking site going. He's got an announcement talking about all the shit he just bought. I don't know what the fuck E4all is. I'm gonna guess it's got to do with video games or anime, because he's white and he's a virgin, and therefore anything he does has to revolve around those two fucking things. So here's a list of what he's bought. Transformers, Japanese PS2, Twinkle Star sprites for the Dreamcast, Snatcher for the Sega Saturn, Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon, another story for the Super Famicom. We need a group of people who believe in quality control and can do something about it. What happened to the Black Hatters? You remember those guys? The real hackers, the people who could really do shit, who could really affect change, just a snap of their fingers and shit changed. Please? Make it go away and then post a video response and make my day better. This is Jim81Jim. preparing to stick a revolver in his mouth because he actually saw that this existed.
That was a video on Spax 3, an infamous Sonic critic. Jim made the video in late 2008, likely with the intent of it being viewed by a pocket of people from the websites he visited, like
2008? Damn, he's been active.
4chan or Metokur.
If you're just doing it to fuck around and have a good time, and you're showing it to friends, you're showing it to people like in a community you're a part of, without any intention of growing a brand or making money or being considered, publicly acceptable, yeah, you're going to say all sorts of wild stuff. You're going to put in suicide jokes. You're going to show video clips that there's no way anybody's going to let you do it. And to be fair, too, at the time, YouTube really didn't care.
So, I made this video
YouTube was,
as kind of an inside.
Like, obviously, you can, just post, straight up illegal stuff on YouTube, but, learning what certain YouTubers got away with back then was, it's insane to find out, because, I don't think YouTube would really let a video with blackface nowadays uploaded to the website now. And that's all Shane Dawson did a lot of that shit back then.
Joke. It was just a response to the to the post that was in this thread. Like I'd said, it was an inside joke. It wasn't meant to be anything more than that. But over the last 6 months since I did that video, other people have come forward and they've done parodies, they've done spoofs, they've done all sorts of crazy shit. I've seen animated series, and I've seen rants, and I've seen just a lot of really clever shit out there that's funny. It's entertaining, and it's good. And what happens to those people? They get banned. They get kicked off of YouTube, they get kicked off DeviantArt. And, it's bullshit. It's bullshit that he can wield that kind of power. It's bullshit that people will, flag videos for him. He's got people flagging videos for him.
Jim is not a big fan of censorship or hypocrisy, and he especially does not like when creators take down critical or satirical pieces. And so, in 2009, he embarked on creating a series of videos covering Spax 3.
The sky at night is the same. The stars, the moon.
The bears. Sorry.
Spax 3 was critical of the voice actor used in the 4Kids series, and as such, Jim was making fun of Spax 3's own rendition. Overall, there are 12 parts to Jim's coverage of Spax 3. The initial video covering the forum, 5 videos covering Spax as a person, 5 other videos reacting to some of his Let's Plays, and a last conclusive video. Within the first 6 videos, Jim uses slurs freely as he does, and also includes a video of a person ending himself. This is how he addressed some of that backlash.
Well, fuck me, everybody's a critic. God, what can you do? You make one dead Mexican joke and everybody's on your ass.
Jim also included an around 30-second clip of one of Hitler's speeches juxtaposed to him immediately wishing everyone a happy Easter. He later incorporates this into the same video.
Happy Easter, everybody!
The online space in 2009 was more free and edgy, but unlike other creators who later expressed that the things they said in the past don't demonstrate their beliefs, Jim hardly ever focused on himself and allowed the audience to come to their own conclusions on his intentions. And as for those, he did not intend to become as popular as he was.
Pretty much the other big one is, well, what are you going to do after Spax? Nothing. I have no idea why I have subscribers on YouTube or Dailymotion or Vimeo or any of the other places. So I have no idea why I have 400 something subs. I don't know what you guys want. I don't make a lot of videos. If you've watched the shit that I've done recently, it's just bullshit, fun stuff,
What followed were videos without consistent themes, like his 2 videos dedicated to Mike, a forum member that was having problems running game emulators, and no matter how clear Jim's instructions were, Mike could not get these emulators to work. This is what inspired Jim's first video to Mike, giving visual step-by-step instructions on how to get these emulators in games to work, but it turns out Mike even had issues with that.
Here it is. His fucking response to my video. I can't watch that. Firefox needs me to get Flash, and I can't install it. IE didn't have that problem.
It sounds like this guy just has a really shitty computer.
So, I just think about it. Let that sink in for a minute. And what does he mean that Firefox doesn't play Flash? I'm using fucking Firefox. In fact, I've never had a problem with Flash, and if you're looking at my desktop, you're going to see I use Firefox, Opera, Netscape, Avant, Safari, Real Player, and Internet Explorer. So, I don't know what problems he's having, man, but this kid is fucking amazing. So there you go. That's my after video. I'd say, hey, Mike, give me a response, but apparently you can't watch the video.
Jim is drawn to spaces that he sees as abnormal. He enjoys the absurdity in situations. So even though Mike did not benefit from these videos, Jim did because of how fruitless they were. But everyone has a line with what they deem too absurd, and Jim's line is life ruination.
There's one thing I have never fucking done to anybody, and that is outright try to paint them like they've done something horrible like that. I've never accused anybody of rape or murder or because that's a line I don't fucking cross. I'm not going to destroy your life in an attempt to get back at you for something. That's just fucked up. I'll screw with you, but I'm not going to go that extra step and try to fucking ruin you like that without backing that shit up with some.
And like that's you see, like I want to say like I have like this pretty much the same beliefs as like Jim, because but obviously like I find I'm more uncomfortable with stuff that like Jim would probably have no problem with, but like I think at least a good portion of like people in like the commentary community can agree with that sentiment where it's like, hey, you know what, like, you know, like we're all like just making jokes, right? But at the end of the day, we shouldn't like actually try to ruin another person's like IRL life, because like that's really excessive, you know. Especially like with the context of we're just kind of making jokes online. No one's life should be ruined over that kind of stuff.
Fucking proof.
What caused this uproar was a situation in the Transformers toy reviewer community. A situation where one group of people, including a popular reviewer in the space, were accusing a different reviewer of being a predator. But the accusers gave no evidence until pressed, and this was their evidence.
So what he said is, the bee shoots its honey on the flower's face. Yeah. The bee shoots its honey on the flower's face. But this is what we're going to destroy somebody's life over? Is a fucking teenage boy hearing a bad sex joke? Are you fucking kidding me?
While Jim was a troll at heart, there were times he would drop the veil to address something he saw as important. But for the most part, especially in 2010, Jim was set out on trolling and would lay out bait videos. These would critique communities rather than individuals.
God, I had like hundreds of accounts. I just with different names. What I used to do is I'd make an account, and I'd set up a fake persona, and then I'd make bait videos, and I'd let it sit for like 3 years, because eventually a group would come across it and try to like get an easy kill on it.
Victims constantly took the bait, one of which was a juggalo defending the insane clown posse.
And then I get a response. He made a video response to me. This is fantastic. And his video response is it's just great. So he was inebriated. So to be fair, I've smoked some weed. And I don't mean, oh, hey guys, look, I'm a stoner. No, I mean I'm really high. Honest to God, right now, I'm fucking stoned. I think that evens the odds, because I want to be fair. Fair and balanced, like Fox News, guys.
Jim also made bait videos criticizing the commentary community, and so came the responses.
People like to make this kind of video content, therefore, you have got no right to say that they haven't got the right to make it. Do you think you're cool or something?
No, I don't think I'm cool. Just really fucking good looking. Really, really good looking.
That black and white image is, according to Jim, the only image of him out there. But most of what Jim states about himself is brought into question because he enjoys messing with people.
But I was like, oh yeah, by the way, do you know what my popular dancing channel is? And he's like, what are you talking about?
Oh god, Michael Alberto. Bro, Michael Alberto, man. I think he's still active now. He actually, hang on. Let's do a detour real quick. Small little detour for a moment. I want to check up on Michael Alberto. Michael Alberto. How is that guy doing nowadays? Is he's active on the unwell Michael. God. Let's see. He did a video on Review Tech USA. Oh, here we go. Here's his actual like main account. Let's see. Uploaded a month ago and got 700 views. Something about a VTuber. He's probably like some fucking VTuber, man. That's a weird, dude. That's the fucking weird thing about like specifically the America First people was that like they're Nazis, but also they like quirky anime girls. It's very, very weird duality there.
It's like, oh yeah, I have it's like 300,000 subs. And, like they couldn't wrap their head around it, but people started going to look for it. I always found the idea funny to make people go look for shit.
Though the thought is absurd, it is known that Jim had various channels. Some of the more prominent are Games Good Me Bad, Jim81 Jim, Midlife Jim, and the best known at the time, Internet Aristocrat. Where Jim often abandoned channels after a few months of use, this channel is one he came back to the most, though every now and then, he will revive a different channel for important updates.
Games Good Me Bad here, and today I just wanted to tell you a big update. At 7:45 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm going to be taking a shit.
Up until late 2013, this is what Jim was, an extremely small creator by intention who scattered his videos across various channels, some possibly still undiscovered, and countless videos have not yet been archived. His shift in content came with the revisiting of the Internet Aristocrat. More previously, his channel at most would have a couple thousand subscribers. Now, with somewhat consistent weekly uploads, his channel was gaining popularity like never before. In addition to this, he changed his mainstay content. Instead of making videos for the purpose of trolling, he was now creating a series that looked into internet oddities or exposed sections of communities where their culture was far removed from the rest of the internet or even just their own communities. These came in the form of Tumblrisms, the Hugbox Chronicles, and internet insanity. The way Jim typically approached the Hugbox Chronicles was to give a broad overview of a community, then slowly focus on the strangest or most damaging members that often attempt to usurp the community to promote their own ideologies. And for Jim, censorship of discussion was always an issue.
They become a part of the group, and then they subtly suggest their poison until it propagates and destroys. Imagine a virus injecting itself into a healthy cell and then spreading through the mechanism of the cell itself. That is what these people are. Special snowflakes are a pox upon any nation which allows them in and upon any group which will host them. Now you could watch my videos and you could say, I don't like what he says. He's abrasive. He uses language I don't like. He appears to be conservative and I'm not. But at least we can have a conversation.
It is true that Jim was massively hated, but also beloved. He hardly, if ever, addressed his critics in a serious matter, which gave them far less power. And that's how he built an audience who doesn't care about his political ideologies. They are there for the content. And as they do, Jim expressed his enjoyment of viewing for talent over political beliefs.
And when he branched off from that to do the Colbert Report as the host, it made sense to me. I watched it for quite some time. I like his sense of humor, his style of delivery, his ability to get a joke across, and he played the role very well. He's a parody of a right-wing conservative pundit. And whether you're a conservative or not, you have to admit, he can be funny, and he can make a joke that will make you laugh, even if you don't agree with his point.
The reason Jim was talking about the Colbert Report was because of a canceling that was attempted at the time. And tangentially, this sort of content was gripping Jim's channel. As was popular at this time, he was making videos on Anita Sarkeesian, SJWs, and other videos of those themes. This was Jim's role in what is known as Gamergate.
What you're looking at is a copyright claim against a YouTube user by the name of Mundane Matt on a video called Hell Hath No Fury Like a Lover Scorned. That copyright claim was filed by Zoe Quinn, the person who is the subject of the video itself. Now, in the copyright claim, she had stated that he'd used a still image of her game, Depression Quest, which she's a creator of, and that she had ownership over that, and that's why the video needed to be pulled down, because it was infringing on her and
over a goddamn screenshot? Damn. What the fuck?
Intellectual property. But the truth is, it had nothing to do with that. So her copyright claim had nothing to do with him using her intellectual property. What it had to do with was suppressing information from getting out. And that's something that's been going on now for the last 3 days since this began.
Alongside covering the silence of creator Mundane Matt, Jim made a couple of videos covering Zoe Quinn's infidelity as told through her ex-boyfriend's testimony alongside the game journalist she had relations with who also covered her game. These videos skyrocketed in popularity.
Wait, what? She slept with game journalists so that way they would give her game goods? Oh my god, she slept with game journalists so that way they would give her a good review? What the fuck? What the fuck? God damn, man. What the? Snatcher is an actual good game, John. What the fuck are you? Wait, Snatcher. What the fuck are you talking about?
Not just for Jim. Being that Monday Matt's video was removed, he became a point of conversation, and as such, the Streisand effect played its role and gave his channel popularity as he became more intertwined with Gamergate. Other people jumped into the fray, such as Milo Yiannopoulos and the Ralph Retort. These sorts of people were becoming the de facto figureheads of the movement, and with more ideologies and contentious individuals involved, whatever Gamergate was became even more confused and impossible to define.
If you were to poll the room of people that were in that, or paying attention to it, you're going to get 100 different answers. I mean, you've got demographics from all over the internet. You had Reddit, you had Tumblr, you had 4chan, you had YouTubers, you had Let's Players. They all had different reasons for being attracted to it or being interested in it. I don't know what to tell you. Anything I say about it is going to piss off a group of people. If I give one opinion one way, the people that were in it are going to hate me, and if I give you an opinion the other way, the people that were against it are going to hate me. There's no good answer I can give you that's not going to get me a metric ton of shit.
With Jim saying his piece and seeing the confusion and the co-opting of the movement, he made an announcement.
So realistically, I'm done. The channel's shut down. I'll pop up maybe in 6 or 7 months. None of you are going to remember what I sound like. You're probably not going to find the channel. That's just how I'd prefer it. I didn't like a large audience. And to be frank with you, the whole Gamergate thing is depressing. The saddest fucking thing about all of this is, it wasn't mainstream media, it wasn't multi-million-dollar corporations, it wasn't corrupt journalists, and it wasn't social justice warriors that killed Gamergate. Gamergate shot itself in the foot by becoming what they're fighting, and that is just too much to fucking handle.
Like, outwardly, you're just, like, kind of trying to vanish, and, like, inwardly, it's like, hey, this is, like, my real reason kind of deal.
Yeah, I threw it up on Poll and on V, and I was like, this is why, these were Vokaroos. It was like 4 or 5 of them. So it's like a recording limit. But I was like, basically, this is what's going on. And I think somebody saved them and then stitched them together.
Metokur in this video was both announcing his departure from Gamergate and the abandonment of the Internet Aristocrat channel. Still, not all was lost. Through his fame, or mayhaps charisma, he did manage to make a few friends during his tenure as the Internet Aristocrat.
So dreamy. That's from Jade 3D Fox. I think I'm saying that right. I don't know who you're talking about, Jade. Milo in his pearl necklace is pretty dreamy. If it was going to sway me for the other team, it probably would be that. But as I've said before, I have a thing for Asian chicks. So unless Milo suddenly changed ethnicities, it's probably not going to happen.
Jade was a creator in this space who made videos on Anita Sarkeesian and the like. She is an Asian woman and exactly Jim's type.
Jade Fox wants to know, would you fuck Lee Alexander for $1 million?
Fuck no, but I'd fuck Jay Fox for free.
With that, Jim got his wish, as in late 2014.
Jim with the Riz. The Riz, Ohio. I'm just going to use brain rot terms from now on. Yo, that Ohio Riz.
Things were moving along rather quickly.
How did we meet? You mean us? Yeah, somebody in chat asked, how did Jade and I meet? We met online, and then went on 5 dates, and then she moved in.
This stream is notable for strange happenings, but those won't be addressed. As for Jim's YouTube presence, the Internet Aristocrat channel was not entirely abandoned because Jim had given free access to users to upload nonsensical slop in the form of videos. Just as these uploaders took the Internet Aristocrat channel, Jim took Metokur. And in March of 2015, the Mr. Metokur channel began uploading. The header read, 24-hour ops forever, duder. The profile icon was one of a rotund man in sunglasses pointing. This man is Haberman, the former owner of the Metokur forums. The origin of the website's name, as Jim tells it, was chosen through a mispronunciation of the word mediocre.
What's the deal between you and Haberman? When you're talking about Metokur and all of that? Yeah, people have asked about that. I'll give you the background story if you want. I met Haberman, or as I like to call him, the Troll Lord, back maybe 5 years ago. He was running a site called Metokur.org. Went to the website, went to the forums, made an account, ended up meeting him and a few of the other members, and just kind of joined the site. Essentially, it was mocking people on YouTube. There was something called DeviantArt Coalition for Quality Control
where we would go and find somebody on DeviantArt and critique their stuff and just shit talk them.
Oh, dude, that sounds like early art commentary. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like he was doing like what the like the art commentary people would do later on. Interesting.
And put up articles about that. There was what the fuck was it? Metokur After Dark, which was we'd go to people's private amateur porn pages.
What the fuck? That's a fucking jump.
And basically do a retsu praise of their porn videos.
Retsupraise, as Jim describes them, are in essence reaction videos with an emphasis on smack talk. The Metokur website, now entirely wiped from the internet, was famous for its trolling plans, one of which involved creating a Half-Life 2 mod that recreated school violence situations for the purpose of getting national attention. Specifically, they wanted to get on Fox News to debate on the side that defended their project. At least, that's what they wanted Fox News to think.
He was going to go on television and debate Jack Thompson, and the joke was going to be, when he got on television, instead of advocating for free games and creativity and all that shit, he was just going to totally agree with the host and completely fuck with their mind. But it never went anywhere. It kind of died on the vine.
Metokur's influence bled across the internet. The members hardly stuck to a single website and could be found using 4chan, the Something Awful forums, and the Encyclopedia Dramatica. The Encyclopedia Dramatica was ostensibly a wiki for trolls. Infamous for its presentation of its subjects, as such, everyone was fair game. And if you made a name for yourself in this space, whether you were received positively or negatively, there would likely be a derisive article written about you. But that rule did not apply to the ED singers.
And there was this group called the EDS singers. And the Ed singers were just unfunny, untalented people. But because they, if I remember right, because they were paying money and donating to the site, they were considered untouchable. They had made friends with people in positions of power, and you couldn't shit talk them, and if you did, people would come after you. What ended up happening was the Sysop and Haberman and a few others got angry at her.
Once Haberman got the ED Singers docs and began a campaign of harassment, the death of the website Metokur was assured.
Well, the ED Singers somehow, through the use of a private investigator or somebody else, found Haberman's personal information. And they filed actual lawsuits against him in the state of New York and elsewhere, like civil suits.
What the fuck?
And it freaked him the fuck out, because he was anonymous. I mean, he was called Haberman, but nobody really knew where he was, or what his name was, or any of that shit.
With these consequences all too real for Haberman, he goes to his fellow Metokur members in a panic, proclaiming that they should be left alone. Yet prodding the ED Singers was not his final mistake.
And then he foolishly tells all of us, by the way, I'm going on vacation for a week. LMTE's in charge of the forum.
The posting of Haberman's docs was all Jim's idea, and so he got the brunt of the blame.
And I say good riddance to Metokur and all it stood for. Selfishly, I attribute it to the fact that I was forced to hide my own sexuality and harass my fellow LGBT peers, prolonging an addiction to pain prescription medication, stunting my emotional growth, and suppressing my sense of empathy, as well as generally enabling behaviors which I can now recognize as despicable.
That was from Haberman's final post on the website.
But if I had to be 100% honest, I think he was depressed, he was dealing with shit. He ended up getting help, getting medicated, and then it just changed who he was.
Now, virtually no trace of it can be found. At most, it exists in the memories of its members, one of which was H. Bomber Guy, a now popular creator that, as Haberman did, disavowed his actions on the website. A regret of actions known on the internet as troll's remorse.
Yeah, I like to take the piss out of H. Bomber Guy, but to be fair to him, again, like I'm trying to be fair to Haberman with my explanation, H. Bomber Guy was involved with screwing with people, but it was pretty minimal, right? That wasn't his main focus. Like when I said that a lot of goons came over just because they were upset with like the LP stuff, he was kind of one of those. But we did watch Naruto porn together. That is true. Please include that.
What the fuck? Why is H. Bomber Guy watching Naruto porn with people online? Why was he doing that?
That's a bonding experience. For Metokur After Dark, Haberman wanted to do a retsu of like adult videos. He thought that would be funny, and he wanted to do it of like.
Okay, it was okay, slightly better. He wasn't just watching it for the love of the game. He was to make fun of it. Okay.
Really terrible animated porn. and there was this one of Naruto.
There is a conflict of image of what Metokur was. Though Haberman recalls it as a horrific place full of life-ruining campaigns, Jim's recollection is far different.
Metokur was dumb, and it was a place to go to make and do dumb things and fuck with people online. And that's all there was really to it. And I think Haberman feels slighted because we stopped talking to each other, and he perceives it like, I don't know, like I'm the devil. Because he talks about coming out, like he's gay now, and says that obviously Jim couldn't handle that. Never mentioned it to anybody in any of the Skype rooms, and nobody would have given a shit. Nobody would have fucking cared.
By 2015, the website was gone, and relationships between some of its members were soured. Jim, as to counter Haberman's wiping out of Metokur, created that Mr. Metokur channel, so that its popularity would counter the history Haberman tried to erase. There were a few notable changes in the direction of Jim's new channel. Now largely known as Metokur, he adopted a new profile icon, one of a featureless face. The headset and the hat are of the scout from the game Team Fortress 2. The icon was used interchangeably with the image it described, or one where the figure had a weapon pressed against its head. That will not be shown because YouTube does not like that sort of thing. As for Metokur's content, he was slowly drifting away from videos that were even tangentially related to whatever Gamergate was, and starting up new series like Deviants.
P.U. pinches nose daintily. How can you stand such a stinky stench?
In the Deviant series, he would handpick specific pieces of fetish material found on DeviantArt, or read conversations attached to the works as straight as he could. Within these, as with other series, Metokur would sarcastically adopt the mindset of the creators or just those involved to portray the strangeness of their thought process. One of the better examples of this is when he covered sovereign citizens, or people that thought they could use semantics to work their way out of a speeding ticket.
And this is my homemade plate, which I have made.
This is my homemade plate, which I have made. What's that say? UN plug? Sovereignty forever? Okay.
Now these 3 simple rules. Am I being detained? I am not driving a vehicle. I am a traveler. Are usually enough to get you out of any situation.
This was Metokur's form of storytelling, one where the audience was in on the joke, always making sure not to be antagonistic towards his viewers. That's not to say that Metokur was still not getting a fair amount of pushback.
The baby furs got extraordinarily upset with the videos that I was doing and threatened to have me killed, have me arrested, have me sued, have my account shut down, to banish me from social media. It's the exact same reaction, and that's what's funniest to me. This is 7 years later and they still react exactly the same. They still get upset and try to destroy you for laughing at silly artwork on DeviantArt.
Metokur, his humor, his selection of topics, and his nature of being a troll is what both brought ire and respect. Efforts to go after Metokur were often foiled because he is mostly anonymous and unserious in the topics that he covers. Sometimes he adopts a more serious stance, like with the infamous dentist Howard S. Schneider.
Was that one dentist video I did, where the dude was strapping kids down and then trying to save money and bill insurance by not using Novocaine? So he'd do dental work on 5-year-olds without Novocaine and rip stuff out and cut their gums up.
Jesus Christ. Wasn't there, there's a horror movie called The Dentist. I feel like that's straight out of that.
That was pretty fucking horrific.
Yeah, I remember that video. That angered me because I had a dentist similar to that strapped me down when I was a kid.
In Metokur's dentist video, he is quite angry, playing the screams of children as they undergo a hellish operation by an evil man.
Howard S. Schneider. What a fucking joke.
When Metokur is pushed, he creates novel videos, none more famous than the Bathtub Broth saga.
Ross, you're retarded.
Ladies.
Brandon, talk, bitch.
Dude, is this fucking Metokur? Are you actually in the call?
Oh, so I was listening to the live stream and I was just kind of curious about the bathtub stuff.
No, it's
Ross, you wanna back that story up a little bit to the bathtub?
There's
Hey, before I say anything, it's an honor to have you as a guest on here anyways. I don't really care.
Yeah, it's an honor to have him as well.
Okay,
for me.
That's great. Can you tell me about the little kids in the bathtub, Ross? That's all I want.
Is pretty much the reason why is because, you know, I looked it up and I thought they were cute videos. That's really it.
See, I thought the naked kids in the bathtub were cute.
By the way, Metokur, there's an upcoming
yeah,
pedo
but
video.
It was not for like fucking jerking off purposes or some shit.
Oh, someone call me a whore in the chat? Well, fuck you. You could go.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen a lot. Okay, so what made you compelled you to look at you like you thought that was cute? Why were you looking up naked kids in bathtubs in the first place, Ross?
Because I wanted to fucking find. I thought like, why not?
Bro, what the fuck? What the fuck? I figured, why not? Why not look that up?
In late 2017, Metokur was browsing through small streams and clicked on this one. Only a handful of people were watching, and none of the people in the call were of note. But the moment Metokur started listening was a moment Ross was being confronted by others about watching videos of children in bathtubs. It was then that Metokur requested to get on the stream through Google Hangouts and was let in. The twists and turns of these unfolding events would span several videos as the revelations kept getting wilder and more captivating.
I'm on the internet.
Well, I
I
don't-
1,000K subscribers. I'm Mr. Metokur. I'm a cool guy.
Oh no, you're
I'm
gonna
not the
roast
guy
Mr.
streaming
Metokur?
talking about naked kids in a bathtub, Ross. That's
Well,
your
except
dumbass.
I
So
know-
why don't you answer the question rather than being a little bitch? and
Ross,
just be
you don't want to
straightforward?
go against Mr. Metokur, man.
You're an annoying piece of shit who thinks he's so because he's cool on the internet.
But stutter some more, you dumb bitch. I see you in the chat trying to be funny like you know fucking memes and shit. You're so out of touch. You call yourself Edge Queen. There's nothing edgy about you, you fucking hole.
You don't fucking know
You
me.
don't know. Yeah,
Fucking
exactly.
asshole.
You don't
I
really
don't need to know her.
The best white trash response. You don't know me. You don't know who I am. Fuck you, Metokur.
She's annoying and unfunny. Well, sadly, things did not stay very civil for long.
Despite increasing tensions, things did get back on track.
I said, how does wanting kids relate to you going on the internet and looking at naked children? How do they connect it exactly? How does that play into each other?
And you want to know why I said it was fun?
Sure.
Because honestly, like, you know, like the thing is that like they're playing and shit, and they're pretty much chilling, and that's pretty much what it is, really.
Thrown into the mix now were screenshots of Ross admitting he has a problem.
You not only like bought the rope and tied the noose, but like put your neck in it. Like you're admitted that you're looking at naked kids on the internet, and then there are these conversations where you're saying you have feelings for kids, and you need to get help. So, like, let's just cut through the shit and get to brass tacks. Are you a pedophile? I'm not saying you acted on it, but are you?
No, not really, and I didn't even act on anything, really.
Hey, Metokur, have you seen the video where he cries on
Brandon,
live
stop
stream?
shaking your head.
Of course he has.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, I've seen all the videos. This guy is a fucking... He's out of his fucking gourd. Is he lying? I don't know. He's looking up naked pictures of the kids on the internet. He hears voices. He fights with his grandma. He breaks shit. He doxes people. He sends death threats to people. And then there are people in this call trying to defend that shit and act like it's normal. You fucking lying. You know that's not normal. Don't pretend.
Dude, I'm welcoming you into this stream out of my own hospitality, dude.
Hey. Hey, I'm being nice to you by letting you on my live stream. Don't be mean to me.
How many times do I have to shit in your living room before you throw me off, Ross?
Brandon, I'm
so
not
bad
Brandon.
place with a
Ross,
fucking-
throw him out.
All right,
Throw me
fine,
out, Ross.
Metokur. You had your chance.
With Metokur kicked out of the call, the gears were now in motion. After Metokur did an additional call with Ross and the woman in the call that went as Ruby, he began making a video, and little did he know, videos were also being made on him.
Oh well, I guess that's the end of it. Not really anywhere else we can go with it. I mean, his friends were being evasive, he was being evasive. I'll have to chalk it up to one of those weird internet interactions. Or at least, that is where it would have ended. If not for the fact that 10 hours later, I was put on fucking notice when this video went live on YouTube.
Metokur, I suggest you back off before I contact YouTube and let them know that you're witch hunting a user, and that will permanently have you banned. That and your content, I mean, the fact that your intro is cringy as shit. So if you want to keep defending them and call Ross a pedo and witch hunt him, I'll gladly have your channel banned. Because, I mean, witch hunting is against TOS, and that's all
I'll
they can
gladly
do.
have your channel banned for calling my friend who looked up naked children a pedophile.
That's right. Death himself, Nuclear Gamer, is putting me on notice. No more Salem of the internet for you, Jim. You can't hunt these witches anymore. And in case his message was not crystal clear, he put up another video to explain it further.
Well, Metokur is gonna get some serious legal troubles happening his way.
Well, oh shit, I fucked with the wrong hombre. What was I thinking taking on the leader of a Call of Duty clan? I'm talking about the world-famous Deadly Strikers Elite Force. It has its own website, if you want to pay to visit. It has an amazing website. And Nuclear Gamer, their leader, was sure to tell everybody in the comment section that they were going to get arrested, hacked, doxxed, or even potentially get their asses kicked. Life ruination engaged. It was around this time that I decided to respond directly to Nuclear Gamer, king of the Call of Duty clan. You really fucked up now, buddy. So you got one choice. You can show the evidence, or I can get Interpol involved. I guess he didn't appreciate the sentiment, because not only did he lock the comment section and disable the ratings, he pulled down all the videos too. Even a third video, which I didn't have a chance to archive or download, but was basically the same as the first two, expanding on it and letting me know that I'm going to internet jail.
There was an additional stream between Nuclear Gamer and Ross where the two doubled down on their aggression, threatening to get the police involved, though to what extent was unclear.
I am a fucking target. Bandito and his band of elite super hackers are going to take my internet away forever. I'm going to get doxxed, hacked, arrested, and possibly killed because I fucked with the wrong individuals.
Metokur, within the first Ross video, or rather Bathtub Ross as he was being deemed, summarized all these happenings, and displayed some other of Ross's infamous moments, like when his grandma was telling him to take a shower.
Take your shower. Clean up. You stink. Jesus Christ. Not clean underwear. Put on some clean clothes once in a while. Jesus Christ. I would like you to wash your hair and put some soap under your armpits.
Yeah, and then I'll decide what to do until then.
Bro, your grandma's telling you to take a goddamn shower, and you're like, well, I do what I want.
People around you will thank you.
There was also the time Ross admitted to defecating himself.
Dude, how come people don't want to date me? How come they don't want me? And then, like, he's like, dude's gone on, like, 30 days without showering.
Then you can come down here and have a real life and not live with your grandparents and have to be a fucking baby that shits his pants and gets fucking fed and shit and just plays games for the rest of his life. Maybe then, if you can do that.
I stopped shitting my pants since I was like 11.
It's not.
I didn't set my pants since I was 11. What the fuck?
Actually, it's fucking figure of speech, you dipshit.
With Bathtub Ross gaining notoriety, he was starting to get more aggressive.
You're probably noticing the timeline on this video is nowhere near done yet. That's because this TISM storm is just heating up. What follows are multiple days worth of interactions, where he and his group of friends begin to show more and more just how insane they are.
Metokur goes on to detail Ruby's Little's fetish, as well as some tirades Ross went on with excessive threats of violence or just expanding on other aspects of himself.
We can track you down and we can put you into the fucking Red Room, Neil.
Again with this super hacker shit.
The Red Room.
They're coming to get you, Jim. We're gonna put you in the fucking Red Room. And if you're wondering what that Red Room, that Red Bandito is going to put you in, well, that's a creepypasta. It's a fucking creepypasta story that Ross watched on YouTube and apparently believes is totally fucking legitimate. But can you blame him? I mean, he is a virgin with rage.
I'm literally just a fucking virgin with rage, alright?
Why would you say that?
If I ever met you in real life, you son of a bitch, I will find you and I will kill you!
What the fuck?
That concludes part 1 of the Bathtub Ross series. Part 2 summarizes the continued degradation of Bathtub Ross and his allies as they'd stream for hours on end, threatening anyone that dared oppose him. The pressures of such had Ross wanting to end it all, and so he quite literally drank Febreze.
Febreze?
At least I was able to drink Febreze, alright? Unlike you fucking f***s.
So, my insides are lemony fresh. I'm not sure if anybody's ever taken the time to look up the warnings that are on a Febreze bottle, but it won't kill you. It's not actually lethal at all. It will, however, make you shit yourself, like massively bad diarrhea, which is what happened to Ross, as he shit himself consistently for 2 days straight.
I mean, I had to use the restroom 7 times today because it probably could, like, it was kicking in pretty much.
With Ross now more unstable than usual, he decided to be a bit more honest and came clean that he is attracted to children.
Are you admitting it now?
Yeah, I am. I tried hiding it, but you know, I failed to do so. I failed to lie to people, and I failed to hide it. So there you go.
What were you lying about? Why did you want to lie? Why did you want to cover it up? Why were you lying?
Because pretty much I just didn't want to face that part of myself. It's borderline pedophilia. There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like, did you mean what you said? Like, do you have feelings for us?
Yeah, I do need to seek help.
On top of this, Ross was also admitting that in the past, he wanted to take certain violent actions at school.
Not just for borderline pedophilia, but also for bloodlust as well. I was literally fucking pissed off that people were bullying me at high school, so therefore I wanted to fucking shoot up the school.
No, you're not hearing that wrong. That's Ross talking about fantasizing about shooting up schools. Now, Ross being Ross wanted to immediately turn this into a pity party. He wanted to make it about him. He wanted to say how he's been bullied and how people are just misunderstanding him. And when he was called out on that, he did what he always does. He read.
And then people are going to celebrate, and then people are going to fucking be unified against me, and then they'll be done.
Stop it.
Stop with the pity party. Jesus Christ.
No, it's not a pity party. That's that's what's gonna happen.
That's exactly
Shut up. That's what's gonna happen.
Ross.
So there you have Ross, a self-admitted borderline pedophile with bloodlust issues, who has repeatedly made death threats against other people, who's engaged in dangerous behavior, who's talked about hurting children and shooting up schools, admitting this publicly on the internet. If I were to look for a parallel for who Ross reminds me of, I would say it was Nick Bate. Now, Nick Bate is a person I did a video on years back. He was a weird individual, an autistic individual, and repeatedly, for years and years and years, he talked about his attraction to children and tried to play it off as normal and that he was not a threat to anyone.
Metokur closes the second video by bringing up a different person he covered in the past that had the same tendencies of Ross, and that, though there were interesting aspects about these obscure individuals, they can also be dangerous and their words should be taken seriously as to avoid tragedy through their hands. For several months, this story through Metokur went untouched. It was about 6 months later that he delivered the third and final installment. In here, Ross is now denying that he had an interest in children and claims he was forced to admit a falsehood. Metokur and the audience at large was not convinced.
Just because I told you, literally, verbatim, I am a pedophile, does not mean that I am a pedophile. You need to get on my level of literacy.
There were additional developments, and Ross admitting through a leaked Discord conversation that he wants to assault an ex, and also admitted to using emotional manipulation.
But even this wasn't the reason that I decided to do a part 3. I want you to buckle up. I want you to batten down the fucking hatches, because what I'm going to drop on you should unnerve you. You've heard the statements from Ross. You've heard the things that he has said. You have an idea of what his character is, and if you watch those first 2 videos, you really have an idea of just who Ross is. But it's something he said, not only in the video he himself put up, but in the secretly recorded Discord conversation that really fucking caught my ear.
How dare I? You know, what do I know? I'm just, a guy who's extremely, a terrible human being. I shouldn't be around kids at all. Oh, wait. Never mind. I actually am around kids to this very day. Never mind.
Take a minute to ruminate on that.
That was Ross admitting he was a teacher's assistant. He was around children in an elementary school.
The whole fucking thing is that they don't check me in my background or anything like that. Oh man.
Of course, who needs background searches for teacher's aides that only volunteer 1 day of the week through community service? They just let them on in the front door.
This is the message Metokur ends his final Bathtub Ross video on. But that was not the end of his interactions with Ross. There was a stream hosted by creator Tonka Saw where Metokur confronts Ross once more.
So you are a pedophile?
I mean, seriously, do you think I was not going to say that, or what?
So then you are a pedophile working at a fucking elementary school!
How the fuck?
Oh my god, you're twisting it as if anything's gonna happen to those kids.
Ross was entirely unrepentant in this stream.
Not gonna be civilized with you. You're a piece of shit. You should be lined
Neither
up.
am I.
You should
I
be
honestly
lined up
fucking
against the
hate
wall,
you,
Ross.
honestly, Jim, because
should
you
be lined
fucking
up against
spread
the
so
wall,
much
Ross.
fucking bullshit about me.
You should be
on a
lined up
constant
against
fucking
the
basis.
fucking wall.
Even though, like, the police interviewed me, Jim, and they said I'm not a pedophile.
Oh, they interviewed you.
You said you are.
Dude, I miss. I was not able to watch this era of the internet. The morning Kumite, dude.
So you didn't tell them the truth,
Yeah.
then? So you lied to the police. Are you saying on
Okay,
a live
you're
stream
so
in front of
fucking-
2,000 people that you lied to the police when
You
they
know,
came to investigate you for this? What an
And
idiot!
you know what?
are.
Honestly,
you're so
like,
dumb. You're
like I
so
said,
dumb.
you're not delusional. You're the opposite of delusional, Jim.
Yes, he
But,
is.
like,
He
people
is the
think
opposite of delusional, right?
I mean,
Okay.
like people. think
Yeah,
he's
no,
an
you got it
asshole,
right the
hey,
first
Jim.
time. Let's
I mean,
end on a
that's
high
fine.
note. That's good. Opposite of delusional. Thank you.
As unrepentant as Ross was, his statements did have a real-life effect. He was kicked out of his grandma's house after she was informed of the videos, and so Ross was allegedly living in a halfway house.
But the like the weird twist on that is, it turns out one of the guys that was really anti-Ross and wanted to see him go to jail for this, ends up getting convicted and put in prison for like 60 years. For I think he raped his little sister.
Jonathan Ross never got jail time.
From what I understand, he got put into like a, I don't know what it'd be exactly, like a home, a reform house. So I think eventually the state stepped in and they're like, we got to do something with this guy, and they put him in some kind of halfway house program for a while. Where he is now, I don't know, but he went to something for a while.
And that is how the Bathtub Ross saga ended. And there were always plentiful amounts of topics for Metokur to cover. Now more so than ever, because in early 2017, he launched his Patreon.
Has this been your longest op, using YouTube for 10 years and now monetizing? Yeah, this has been my grand plan, really. You know, when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Create multiple channels over the last decade, allowing them each to get up to a point where they become popular and then closing them down, all leading to this one moment. It was a very long operation, but I think I planned it out pretty fucking well.
This Patreon was the first and only way, at least for now, that Metokur was making money online. He had refused to allow advertisements on his videos and stated that he would keep it that way. Yet this was getting some pushback, in part due to him being a critic of those that overly monetize their presence on the platform, among many other things. One of the larger gripes was creators not adjusting their releases to reflect their increase in revenue, as Metokur was now trying to adhere to a weekly upload schedule. And for the most part, he delivered. Sometimes he even uploaded an additional video. But when he failed to do so, this video of Metokur, now changed to portray him as a target, would crop up.
Because they're that fucking stupid. I could make it up. I could completely blow smoke up their ass and they would fucking love it.
This video, like any other used against Metokur, had virtually no effect on his image. Viewers were now more engrossed with this old, yet new thing that was rearing its head around.
You're Jim, right? You're the Jim?
Yeah, I'd be the Jim.
The Jim, okay.
That was the streamer Destiny being introduced to Metokur. The two debated on various political issues for about an hour and a half. Metokur is overall seen as the victor in this stream, as it is remembered as Metokur's intuition versus Destiny's intellect. Metokur also had the upper hand because he did not take any hard stances. Even so, Metokur, now understanding Destiny a bit more, would go out of his way to interact with him.
Hello, I heard there was an Oompa Loompa meeting going on, so I wanted to join in.
Oh, wonderful. We've got Metokur.
This is the
here,
Under 4 Feet Tall Club, right? Did I jump into the right stream?
That was a Google Hangouts that hosted various online political commentators, including Destiny, who is not very tall, as Metokur enjoys pointing out.
Nick, Darren, Metokur, anything you want to talk about?
What the fuck
no
is that
bullshit.
profile picture?
No, I'm good.
What the fuck?
I mean, if we're opening it up to just different topics of conversation, Destiny, what brand of stilts do you use? Because I've been
That was a nice one, dude.
curious
I love it
about
when
that
people
for a
literally use a cartoon avatar, build their entire personality around a
No,
That's actually really funny.
Get
to me,
off your
dude.
high horse.
That's really good. You got any more there in your little book there? I know how long you've
Little
been
book.
into this.
I'm
You're,
sure
like,
that's
you're
not
real excited
I
here to
borrowed
go.
it
Keep
from
going,
you,
my dude.
the little book.
What cartoon picture did you use to represent yourself for this conversation, buddy?
3 homosexual
men.
men. So you should appreciate it.
That's pretty funny, dude.
You should appreciate
oh god,
it. Game.
like the recent. Oh god, with the recent Destiny stuff. Oh no, this is so bad in hindsight.
You're a riot, my man.
Metokur interjects only a short amount for the next 30 minutes and lets the serious topics be debated before honing in on Destiny once more.
So, does anyone want to make any final statements, final points to wrap up this hilarity?
Yeah, I'd love to, if I can have a minute.
Excellent. Go ahead.
I just wanted
We're a little short on time, so keep it fast.
I will. I just wanted to ask the little guy, are you still suing girls on the internet?
Ooh, I actually am not able to talk about that publicly at the moment. I'm sorry. But
You're suing somebody for hurt
I can't
feelings,
speak about
really?
that. Under advice of counsel, I'm not supposed to talk about that right now. I'm sorry. Can I just a quick comment? I appreciate the conversation. I really do. I love all of you. Even Nick, except for Mr. Metokur. I hate you. And no bullshit. But Lauren,
I hate you too, Mitch.
This was the old that was new again. It was known as IBS, or Internet Blood Sports. As opposed to physical blood sports, the internet once allowed beratement of one's opponent on their history, ongoing controversies, unsubstantiated rumors, and physical features. Nothing is off the table, as the overall goal is to win this war or roasts. A form of this conflict can be traced all the way back to 5 years prior.
It's called Battle Camp, an interactive website where audiences get to vote whether to keep the person on or not. It's the need to outdo one another.
There are many reasons why this community of creators, who are mostly made up of current or former political commentators, were easing towards IBS. One of which could be that their bread and butter, the peak of whatever Gamergate was, or even just the 2016 election had passed, and so had interest in many of these figures that tried to keep the candle burning. Separate from IBS, Metokur was broadening his videos to target some of these figures. As for the ones involving themselves in IBS, Metokur points out the main 3 channels hosting this sort of content.
3 of the main channels that have really popped up to promote this would be Andy Worski with The Worski Show, Tonkasa with The Morning Kumite, and Baked Alaska with The Baked Alaska Show. These are 3 different individuals. Their channels are hosting this as a format to go forward with, and it's been met with a very positive reaction from the audience.
Metokur also states within this video that the large-scale criticisms of creator Crownton T, who Metokur also did a video series on, also helped spark IBS. And to that, some of the most memorable IBS streams were the ones where creators were being exposed live. Enter Matt the Boulder Jarbo, famous for being targeted by Zoe Quinn as she used the DMCA process to take down a video of his in the past.
You can see Matt talk about this from time to time. He'll bring up the fact that Zoe false DMCA'd him, that he's sort of a big deal. He was there at the beginning, just an innocent YouTuber being abused by a bigger individual. How horrible must that feel? How fucking awful must that be?
This made Jarbo quite popular in 2014 during the height of Gamergate, but now in 2017 he was getting attention for the same reason, only he was on the other side of things.
6 years ago, I made some stupid puppet videos called Polly the Polar Bear. They were an attempt to be super edgy and ridiculous. Not the best representation of who I am. Dumb jokes have a way of coming back to bite you in the ass.
The infamous Polly the Polar Bear video is one where Jarbo, through a puppet figure, says the word of the day is the N-word. After the video's rediscovery, as Metokur stated, Jarbo removed it from his channel. But mysteriously, other channels were finding it difficult to show the footage.
Oh, well, what do you know? It looks like Ethan was going to do a stream and talk about it. He was going to have people on and they were going to talk about Mundane Matt's Polly the Polar Bear video. Let's pull up some footage of that and see what happened. This video has been removed for violating YouTube's policy on hate speech. What's going on here? It couldn't be the Polly the Polar Bear video, because just looking at the archive, you can see it survived on YouTube with all the algorithms and people watching it for 6 entire years. So if it was defined as hate speech, Matt would have been struck with a strike long before Ethan Ralph showing it on his stream would have been struck with a strike. And so people began to put forward what their theory was on what exactly happened with the stream. It's Mundane Matt's fault. I just want to outright state that. There's no way. I'm 100% certain Matt did this.
As was tradition, they got Matt on stream to hear his side of the story.
Jim, I understand what you're saying. And I've actually publicly stated this on Twitter a couple times. There was a time period where people were making videos like Godwinson and Dame Pesos, and those videos did come down. I did not have anything to fucking do with that shit. Somebody's going out there and flagging this crap, and I swear to God, I have no idea. I've publicly said on multiple streams, stop doing it. I've tweeted, stop doing it, and people keep doing it, and then I keep getting blamed.
Jarbo attempted to pin the blame on a troll, flagging videos that included him to make him look bad.
If you look at his Twitter, it's a daily thing almost. Every month, Mundane Matt's talking about it. Denial after denial after denial. The poor bastard just can't catch a break. And as for that coincidental timing of him being there to give an explanation of why he didn't do it, right after the stream was flagged, well, there's a reasonable explanation for that as well. Mundane Matt is really Minecraft Matt. The fucking Quarry King.
Because I wasn't home when I got it. I was on my way to go, like, pick rocks, literally. We found a dude in the middle of fucking nowhere who's giving away boulders. Rocks are fucking expensive. I'm just going to put out my statement, go run this errand, pick up these boulders. I went down and picked up boulders today.
Why are you picking up rocks?
He was just doing his normal afternoon activity of bringing his child with him while he went to collect boulders off the side of the road. You know, a typical activity that we all engage in on a weekly basis. I can't tell you how many fond memories I have of growing up with my parents and having them take me out on a boulder hunt on a Wednesday afternoon.
Alongside the strange excuse Jarbo was providing were the various channels that were being targeted that made fun of Jarbo, such as Dame Pesos and Godwinson. And throughout the stream, Jarbo continued to deny he had any hand in the flagging of their channels. The one thing protecting Jarbo was that this was not a DMCA or a similar form of a Content ID claim, as when that process is initiated, it shows who pulled down the video and YouTube is involved only minimally, as this is a legal process. A flagging, however, is something anyone could do, and is done to bring attention to YouTube of content that could be breaking their community guidelines. But perhaps, it may be possible to find out who exactly flagged a video.
There is a way you can show your reporting history on YouTube. I'll link it in the chat. So if you didn't do it, it should have nothing in it, correct?
Oh, the plot thickens.
Uh-huh.
As was brought forward on the stream, there is a way to check a flagging history. This has to be done through a channel owner, and while the other participants of the stream were showing their own flagging history, Jarbo was eerily silent.
You're taking way too long, Matt. You're guilty as fuck. Take a screenshot. Look, we want to see what you reported, all right?
Is this
Stop fucking around. It's been like fucking 8 minutes.
Jesus Christ,
Take a screenshot and show him. No, I'm sick of you lying.
I'll send you an image because, look.
No, just okay.
no, wait, I want to hear this.
All right, okay.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, let me preface this by saying.
Go ahead.
That I can get angry.
Uh-oh. Matt got a little bit angry. I wonder what that could mean. What could he have possibly done? I'm innocent, guys. I haven't done what I'm accused of, but I might have done something else. I wonder what that something else is.
Let's stay on topic here, boys.
Yeah, let's stay focused. I'm really interested. I think I'm just like Elsa up there.
I have a lot of tabs open, but I have.
Thanks for reporting.
But nothing on.
Now wait a minute.
Nothing on that. That's just,
what the fuck?
So, I have been in a not the best place mentally. And
now wait a minute, Matt. No, Matt. No.
The discovery of Jarbo being the source of the flagging was only half of his destruction. The second half was going back and looking at all the excuses he made and his involvement with Candid.
I bought a house, Jim. I'm having a kid, Jim. That's why I have to flag videos on YouTube. I'd like to remind you that Mundane Matt is a man who wrote a fucking book on how to handle the internet. He sells a book on Amazon. Well,
no bullshit. Social media marketing. Tips and tricks on how to create and sustain a solid online presence on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, Pinterest, and Google Plus for the entertainment industry. What the? What?
Sell is being generous. He gives it away for $0 and there's still no takers. The advertisers, his fellow YouTubers, the skeptic community that seemingly was a large part of this marketing push. And Matt was a part of that. Let's talk about free speech and the Candid app. Notice how there's no disclosure up top. These people are part of a community that are skeptical. They're free speech advocates. They don't lay down. They don't take it up the ass. They're there to defend you, unless you're putting a $10,000 check in their pocket. And then fuck you, am I right, Harmful? When Harmful would release a video talking about Candid or poking at Matt on social media, Matt would then, in kind, respond and tell him he was basically crazy.
The point Metokur is making is that Jarbo was also part of the promotion of this app that was, in a way, weaponized to counter opposition of it, even though it should go against their core beliefs.
Working with a company whose business plan is to censor and fuck them over.
I remember, what was it? Turkey Tom made a video about the whole Candid thing. That app, in hindsight, that app was really interesting because I think a lot of like the AI censorship tools that were being explored through the Candid app, I think are being used nowadays by sites like X, Blue Sky.
And not just them, everybody else.
This was all covered in Metokur's The Ballad of Mundane Matt video, and a good example of how blood sports could progress ongoing feuds. But as was becoming more and more the case, certain feuds that should have only amounted to banter were taken far more seriously by their participants.
There's a term that's existed on the internet since, well, the internet itself has existed. It describes a certain personality type, a character most people would encounter on the forums that they might frequent or image boards they might visit. It's a special kind of individual, somebody who's easily quick to anger, who lacks the ability to banter or joke with other people. When forced into a corner or a situation in which they cannot win, they will inevitably fall back upon the position of wanting to kick your ass.
You triggered, my dude? You sound pretty triggered.
Oh, I'm triggered as fuck. I would fuck your face up so bad.
Oh shit, I'm sure you would, my dude. You sound so mad right now. Oh god, you sound so mad, dude.
Oh, I'm mad. I would
fuck. You sound so triggered right now. I'm such an internet tough guy. So mad.
Destiny's opponent in that moment, and who Metokur was making a video about, was Tonka Saw.
That behavior has existed within him, on the internet, for at least 7 or 8 years. Every single person he would encounter who would eventually throw up a roadblock to his bullshit would sooner or later receive a challenge to fight him in real life. But as with most internet tough guys, nobody really gave him much attention. They just saw it as complete bullshit and moved on. That is until a little cokehead by the name of Andy Worski said enough is enough.
I will go to the States. I will go to the ring you want me to go to.
Metokur proceeds with explaining who Worski is from his involvement in IBS, the fabricated information about him and a minor, and the poor advice he received from Tonka Saw. This presents the feud between the two and why Worski, unlike other people, readily took up Tonka's offer.
Shockingly rare occurrence, an internet tough guy actually had to put his ass on the line. And that is thanks to Tara LaRosa. Now Tara, a sometimes guest on the Morning Kumite, had heard that Tonka and Andy were having an argument. Tonka had said that he could set up a fight, that he could arrange the details of it, but he was running into some difficulties. And out of nowhere, Tara said, she'll have it set up in 5 minutes. And she wasn't kidding.
Worski took this seriously and the event was being hyped up, but also sabotaged according to Metokur.
Tonka spent his time trying to throw any wrench he could into the gears, trying to slow it down. While on his show, he would talk massive amounts of shit, saying how he was going to badly hurt Andy Worski. And come January 19th, only one man would be standing in the arena. Well, maybe standing is the wrong way to put it.
To elaborate on what Shamir had been saying, Andy Worski is making his way to the cage. His opponent, Tonka Saw, did not show up.
Tonka was a no-show, sabotaging the match by not sending his ID or even blood work.
Tonka Saw refused to sign the contracts asked of him, and sent in multiple names under the contract and the blood work. They even followed...
Dude. See, like, why are you gonna act like such a tough guy, right? And then, like, when it comes time to actually pull up, you don't do it. What the fuck, Tonka?
Follow up on this in a later paragraph. Mr. Tonka Saw sent in someone else's blood work and ID. He did not make it to Tennessee.
Metokur also goes through some of Tonka Saw's lies. Unlike the Matt video and Blood Sports events, Metokur had no direct involvement in these happenings. This is because at this point, Metokur had created distance with IBS, just like he did with Gamergate because of how obscure it was becoming.
You got doxing and swatting and pedophilia. You've got infighting and Discord spies and all of this other shit. I don't know how this happened. They're just fucking... They're streaming shows on the YouTube. They're streaming shows on YouTube. How did any of this happen? How did any of this shit come to be? It's fucking streaming shows on YouTube.
Metokur's intuition in the spaces he inhabited was remarkable. He knew when to jump ship when things were going awry. He also, unlike some contemporaries, remained consistent in keeping things to banter, avoiding what he deems to be life ruination or any similar serious threats. Additionally, when he did take part in IBS, he was always a strong competitor that was detached in many ways. His anonymity negated any roastings of his appearance, controversies, any heavy-hitting things. Even when he was doxxed, he still made light of the legal history of his that came out.
And look at all these nifty screen caps that should give you the gist of Jimothy's legal dealings regarding his ability or inability to register, insure, or non-drunken drive a car. Can we really be surprised by that? Do we know Irish people that aren't fucking excessive alcoholics?
Another element of Metokur's strategy of detachment was his rule of no online friends.
But I feel like whether you want to admit it or not, you know, you have made some friends because...
No, you're just people on the internet to me. I mean, I've been pretty consistent with that for years. I mean, have I not? I mean, I've told Andy this, I've told Tonka this.
Though, right? We're BFFs. We hung out that one night. What are you talking about, Metokur? We bought Chinese and stuff, and we chilled, watched.
And, you know, we can show up on a stream together and banter or yell. I mean, that's
yeah, but you have a mutual affection. That's a friendship.
No, like an actual like I feel like an actual friendship involves a lot more than just being like nice to people online. You know, like if you're like hanging out pretty consistently, like that's a friendship.
No, I don't.
The people Metokur interacts with could be quite unstable, which could be a reason for this rule. This rule also assists in being straightforward in his intentions, in that he will prod at anyone that embarrasses themselves online. Even Worski with the infamous aim stream. But because YouTube does not look kindly of videos showcasing people brandishing weapons, this event cannot be shown to its fullest. The gist is that Worski in Florida, after a verbal confrontation
it's always fucking Florida,
with 3 other individuals at a bar, walks off with his 2 pals. A fair amount of time passes, and these individuals catch up to Worski and his friends, where then Worski convinces his friend to pull a gun through these words.
Go aim.
This resulted in Worski and friends calling the police, but in a turn of events, because Worski's friend Alex pulled a gun that was not fired, there were still charges filed against Alex, 3 of aggravated assault and 1 of simple assault. Metokur had a field day with events like these, the stranger the better. That's why his interview with David Stay, a lesser-known star known by Jim for his portrayal of Mandar in the short-lived 1980 series Photon, was memorable.
This is so fucking random. What the fuck?
I talk shit, okay? But I didn't really push it on people. You know who, I'm going to tell you he set me off. Barack Obama, he set me off. I was getting ready for work, and this is why I don't have a television, but I had a TV, right? My TV's always background noise. So I'm getting ready to go to work, all right? And I don't know what he said before. I don't know what he said after. And I cried on this day. I cried this day. All I heard was this. And for all you flat earth, tinfoil hat wearing people.
What the fuck?
And I looked up, I said, what the fuck did he just say that for? I said, why would he say something like that? And you know what I found out that day, pal? There was actually, I have nothing to do with it. But there was an actual flat earth society. And I wasn't fucking alone.
Where some might have questioned Stay's conspiracy theories, Metokur let him talk. In this way, bringing only minimal confrontation allows him to express his stranger yet more entertaining thoughts. And though Stay did have highly irregular perspectives, his intent of kindness made him a likable person within the stream's eyes.
I'm a man that just cares. And I care about everyone. And I want to make a hot damn difference on this hot damn planet. And it doesn't matter how many people. And that's my goal in life. So tomorrow,
interesting.
Do the right thing, but just compliment somebody, man.
From Bloodsports to leaving Bloodsports to covering events around Bloodsports and continuing his mainstay series, this is what Metokur was from 2017 to 2019. But trouble was brewing.
So the Patreon thing happened first. That was from the Transtastic Tales videos I did. So I did a video that I knew couldn't go on YouTube, so I put it up on BitChute. And somebody at Patreon saw it and didn't like it, and that was the end of my Patreon, and that's why. And then I started getting, I got a strike on one of my videos. I can't remember what it was, but there was a strike on one of my YouTube videos, and I was like, okay, this is, they're going to try to just completely shut me down. So my idea was, they can't,
like you were like, oh, I can't be doxxed because I'm already doxxed, right? My image is out there. So I was like, well, you can't strike my videos if I don't have any videos.
Yeah.
So I took down all my videos and I was like, now let's see what you're gonna do, Susan. Hi, Mr. Metokur. Oh my God, so formal. They even called me Mr. During a recent review, our team of policy specialists carefully looked over the videos you've uploaded to your channel, and we found that a significant portion of your channel is not in line with our partnership program. As of today, your channel is not eligible to monetize, and you will not have access to monetization tools and features. So let's go find out exactly what the violation was so I can learn from it to become a better content producer on this amazing platform. Account status currently ineligible for monetization. Here's why your channel wasn't approved. Reused content. I'm going to look through all
Dude, reuse content is such a fucking bullshit. Like, obviously that's meant to, like, because, like, there are channels that, like, for example, like, there's a lot of channels that straight up just, like, re-upload, like, Family Guy episodes. And, like, there's, like, 5-hour long compilations of them. And, like, that I get. But, like, especially for content such as, like, not even, like, commentary. Like, movie reviews, game reviews, like, you're technically reusing a lot of content with that stuff. But, like, you're transforming it to where I think it should be distinguished. I don't even think when because reuse content is such a fucking vague term, and like I still doubt that they have actual like humans like reviewing like the reused content stuff. Because like how, like, for example, how is it that like Internet Versus does the exact same content as like Bo Black's, but like puts more effort in, right? How is it that that's flagged as reused content, but Bo Black's stuff is not reused content? And like, keep in mind, I'm not saying Bo Black should be demonetized. What I'm saying is like they pick and choose what counts as like reused content, and it's bullshit.
my videos to see which ones that weren't compliant with this specialist that works for YouTube. They must have seen something I overlooked. Where can I begin my journey? I know. I should go look at my uploaded videos and just start going through them one by one. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have any fucking uploaded videos.
Quote, so I woke up today to a few videos that were yanked on my YouTube with the typical warnings about rules violations. But what makes it even more insane are the choices. The We Was Kings video, which was pretty popular and aimed at laughing at the Kemet and Black Israelite communities and had been up for 3 years. I tried appealing it and within 15 minutes got a response saying the strike was valid and the video wouldn't be reinstated. The other video was a minute long in length with me dubbing JONTron back into ukulele, and at that point I stopped trying, unquote. At the bottom of this community post, Metokur states this is why he deleted all of his videos, because even if unlisted or made private, YouTube will still use whatever content to apply strikes and take a channel down, as they did with the channel Monkey Jones a year prior. As for Metokur, though his strikes were likely done to eradicate his channel, there was a shift in content during this time. As Metokur mentioned, How the Sausage is Made was uploaded to BitChute and not YouTube. The video covers the surgeries and is highly graphic with nothing left censored. This is a video on a mostly partisan topic, presented graphically and more serious than his other videos. After his channel was demonetized, the next month, still uploading on different platforms, he uploaded Slip and Slide.
Bad things don't just happen at once. The worst of the worst damage that can ever happen to a group of people or to a society is a death by 1,000 cuts. It's incremental changes, almost imperceptible changes, argued only on their singular points, taken out of context of the bigger picture, that allows you to reach an endpoint where the National Guard are coming to take your guns and your son is in a dress getting fucked by a pedophile.
That video was about homosexuals.
And I know there's nothing more that people fucking hate. Like, I get this, because I run into this too. Where you're watching a channel and you really like the fucking content, right? And you're watching all the series, and then suddenly they come in with their hot political takes. And you're like, please, dude, come on. You're fucking killing me here. So I tried my best to keep it minimal, but I never hid that I'm more of like a kind of, conservative. Just from an audience perspective, I tried to keep it like focused on the series, but every once in a while I'd get like a hair up my ass and want to do a political thing. And so Slip and Slide was kind of like my take or what I saw as where things were kind of going. And I tried to sum it up as best I could. And I think a lot of the points that I raised were pretty fair considering where we are right now.
There was something more aggressive going on within Metokur's content that started and stopped within those 2 videos. And there was something going on with Metokur that was only getting worse.
They've given my household a gift that we've been dealing with for a month now. We'll call it the tuberculosis fairy. So, it's just been interesting.
Oh, is this when he announced it?
Don't leave your house if you're in Minnesota unless you have a fucking hazmat suit.
In 2019, his health, specifically his immune system, had not improved. To add to these stresses, in late 2019, after being demonetized, he began a new career path.
As you can see, I'm by the interchange on the outskirts of town. We've got some gridlock going on, bumper-to-bumper traffic, but what a beautiful day. We stuck in that gridlock. Pristine skies ahead. Not a rain cloud in sight. Visibility so clear, in fact. You can even see Susan writing me that check for the money she owes. You're gonna fucking pay me.
Metokur, as a stickman weather reporter, even covered horrendous traffic accidents.
Oh my god, Ken. Ken Studio, can you hear me? There's a driver veering all over the road. I don't know what he's doing. Oh my god, look at the speed that he's going. He's got to it's 100 miles an hour. Oh my god, look at the size of those flames. I can smell the bodies burning, Ken. It smells like cooking pig out here, Ken. One of the survivors, they're coming over towards me. Sir, are you okay? Oh my god, his skin is just falling off his body. There's smoke everywhere, and he's dead.
This change in content was part of a strategy.
And I'm like, okay, I'll play along. I'm going to do weather videos.
I need to hear his explanation for this.
I'm going to do weather videos where it's just my voice, and I do stick figure drawings in MS Paint, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it worked. I got remonetized, and my channel came back.
He fell back on stream.
He got remonetized because of that? Yeah, I mean, interesting.
As his mainstay content, but these were inconsistent and often months apart. And then for more than a year, there were no streams. The answer to his absence could be found on his Twitter. In 2020, he revealed he has indolent lymphoma. Here, Metokur is stating he is losing approximately 3 pounds a week.
Ended up going into a dermatologist who took a look at my scalp. Was like, yeah, that's a tumor. Let's do a biopsy. And it started off with obscure things that didn't really connect into the cancer. So I lost my appetite for 6 months and dropped about 45 pounds, couldn't eat, and then had like a weird pancreatic attack where the lipase level is just through the roof, and then the next day it's back down to normal. Kidneys started acting weird. They're getting weird creatinine levels. They're getting weird adrenal gland readings, and then it just goes back to normal.
Metokur has cancer, but not exactly, and has an autoimmune disorder, but not exactly. The continuous struggle was trying to get an exact diagnosis, but his symptoms were as severe as they were constantly changing.
No, there's been some questions about my health. I'll get that out of the way as quickly as possible, because who wants to hear depressing things? Yes, I did get sick. Yes, I am still sick, going through the clinomics program at Mayo to try to figure out what it is. For those of you unfamiliar with what clinomics is, it's fucking research medicine. So that's always fun. Now, I know that some people have called into question if I have cancer or not. I heard that Mersh said that. In fact, you might want to be careful, chat. I also heard that Mersh told people if you donate to me ever on any live stream I do, he's going to be very disappointed in you.
Mersh is a creator who was assisting in putting forth the idea that Metokur was faking his illness. In a space that is highly paranoid, these rumors do tend to float around, especially when money is involved. To that extent, Metokur was promoting his merchandise, specifically his hats. He had been selling his iconic 4 out of 5 stars hats off and on, something that started to raise funds for a potential lawsuit that never formed. But now in 2021, being inconsistently monetized on YouTube, this was his main source of income and why he is referred to as a hat salesman.
Quality fucking hats, ladies and gentlemen. Buy a hat for your hat. Buy a hat for your hat.
Buy a hat for your hat. A simple yet memorable line. With Metokur's health on a constant decline, this was a rallying cry of sorts. Money raised for his possible mounting medical bills. But even though Metokur has many fans, there are still a fair amount of people.
This was a great. This was a great live stream.
That want to bring his destruction. some insulting his wife or threatening to show up at his house, etc.
Yeah, fuck you, bitch.
August,
greasy
Ralph,
Korean.
come on,
call
you
your wife.
fake being
Nobody
religious, you
gives a
should be able to say
Yet Metokur never reflected those life ruination tactics, even if he did get visited a couple of times.
Oh, 1 second, chat. 1 second, chat. Oh, we might have visitors. Hold on.
Not all visitors were unwelcome.
Had a little gift left on my lawn. A little gift left on my lawn. Now, fun fact, I do have cameras around the house when I show the swatting footage, everything like that. But generally, if people are just having a bit of a goof or fun or whatever, I don't usually put up footage because everybody tries to be so shy and coy about it. Like if you're dropping off potatoes or running up a cart or something like that, I'm not going to do it. But notice somebody with a sled out in the street at like 10 at night trying to be stealthy. And then, what do you know? What's sitting at the front yard? What's been built up in the front yard? A snowman.
This footage came from his quote-unquote final stream.
Well, as you know, this will be our final stream. Jim is riding off into the sunset. He's going to go do Jim things.
Metokur did plan on this being...
I should add a Metokur hat to Tyrone's monkey. You should.
...his final stream, but it was only the final stream of 2022.
We last left off with my Truman Show exit. I was, pretty clear that I was going to die. Had everything set up. I was looking, what would you say, resolute? But to catch you up, chat, on why Jim has crawled out of his fucking coffin for the time being, it's to sell you beautiful fucking hats. We all love Jim's hats.
Metokur came back to earn money, to entertain, and announced that he would possibly show his long list of symptoms to try to crowdsource a diagnosis, as now in August of 2023, 3 years since the discovery of the cancer, things have progressed to the point of having multiple heart attacks and a broken back, and still doctors are unsure what exactly is wrong with him. The fuller extent of his symptoms were revealed in a stream that took place March 2024.
Said Jim's faking everything. Jim doesn't have a wheelchair. Until Jim showed him the wheelchair that Jim owned. Until Jim posted pictures of his wheelchair to shut Brian up. And then Brian all of a sudden retreated into some other retarded shit. So I'm really looking forward to finding out what Mersh is going to say as we go through this. I put together a little collage, and I had to be smart about it. Now, there are reasons I have to be smart about it, and I'll show you why. Because these people are insane. They're literal insane retards. Now, Mersh likes to say that, oh boy, Jim's died 4 times, Jim's faking his illness and all of this.
Do you have a Metokur hat, Nerdy John? I am ashamed to admit, I don't have a Metokur hat. His merch store is still up, right? Or is it only, like, during the streams? Because I do, next, when I get some money, I am probably going to buy a Metokur hat. That would be really cool to wear during the streams.
And I've talked about being sick, and I've gone over it when people have asked in Super Chats, and I talked about it when I had my heart attack. It shows the date of implantment and everything else, because they put you on medication where you'll die if they cut into you. Or if they put you in an MRI machine, it will rip it out of your fucking chest if it's too strong. But of course, again, this is all fake bullshit. Jim's not, maybe Jim actually had heart attacks and had a stent put in, but Mersh is right. Jim's just been faking everything.
Metokur's been playing the long game, the really long game to get all those hat purchases.
So let me put a backing track on here. I like to call this all the tests that Jim has had over the last 4 years. Do you guys have 5 minutes? Just pause at any point to read through.
The scroll of text done on Metokur goes on for around 3 minutes. There are also the newly revealed health issues Metokur has to deal with, from cancer, hypertension, hearing loss, osteoporosis, heart issues, severe inflammation, and rib and back fractures.
Dude, he is a walking medical history. What the fuck? Who does he think he is? Who does he think he is? The Rock talking in third person? Listen, Johnny Hex. Metokur is an internet legend. If he wants to start talking in third person, he can do it all he wants. All the internet cancer gave him cancer. Oh, dude, yeah. All the internet blood sports he had to endure throughout his years of being online.
I know too. You've also asked the question, boy, why won't you die, Medicare? Well, I know Rolf asks that all the time. He maybe has a legitimate reason. We fucking hate each other. You, I don't get so much. But you ask things like, why won't I die? And we've held 4 funerals for you. Why are you streaming? Why aren't you spending your time differently? I'll tell you, it's very simple. I swore to myself when I started getting sick and when I knew I was going to die that I would set it up so that my wife wouldn't have to deal with that. So that when I die, they can throw my ass in an oven, cremate me, scatter the fucking ashes, and everything's on autopilot. That she's set up to be fine. That she's taken care of. That there isn't a weight hanging over her head. I'm sorry that I'm taking too long to do it, or that I'm sticking around to sell a few hats. But, you know, it's part of the responsibility of being in a marriage and having, you know, people survive you. It's one of the reasons I didn't.
Yeah, well, plus, like, I obviously, like, you can argue, like if this was 10 years ago, pre-cancer, you know, he probably get like a regular job, right? But given all the symptoms he has, this is like the best way he can do, the best thing he can do to make money. So that way, because they mentioned it earlier in this documentary, but his wife was also an internet personality, right? But I doubt, from what I understand, her YouTube channel's dead. Like, she hasn't uploaded in a long time. So, like, it's perfectly reasonable for him to be doing this. Just sell merch. You know, it's not like he's like just like it's not completely e-begging, you know, just give me free money. Like he is offering something in the form of merchandise, you know?
Have kids. You know, my dream for my life was very middle of the road. Most people who become like YouTubers, oh, I want to be famous. Oh, I'm going to meet all these fucking people, these TikTok sluts, and drive Lambos and do all that shit. My dream for my life, whether it was through YouTube or other means, was to have a normal suburban house, have a couple of pets, be married, and have some kids. That was it. And I was very close to it.
That is the core of Metokur, a creator known for his consistency. Hated or liked, where other creators fell through the cracks, when even just measly pressure was applied, he remained stalwart. From Gamergate, IBS, his constant bans, to dealing with his degenerative, debilitating illness that no one can diagnose. Metokur, a simple hat salesman, was always able to make the best of it with his trademark smoker laugh.
Wrap it up and go die?
Yeah, Metokur, dude, love him or hate him, and Metokur is probably one of the most iconic people in this space. I mean, there have been, I feel like a lot of different people have been inspired by him. Like, obviously, like a lot of like the internet blood sports communities, a lot of conservative Gamergate type creators, and then a lot of commentary channels love the guy. I'm hoping somehow, some way, you know, the disease he's suffering from is cured, and you know he can go on living his best life. Unfortunately, sadly, I don't think that's gonna happen. And you know what? Whatever content we get from him is something I'm going to deeply enjoy, because like he's still, as of now, he's still doing like the monthly wrap-up streams, which are awesome. And I hope he continues doing them. You know, guys, that being said, though, I am going to be ending the stream right now, so that way I can focus on getting some content out there. Like I said, going to be editing the new Troublemakers episode. It's going to be fun. That was interesting. It was really interesting. But that being said, you know, we got to thank all the lovely members of this channel. First off, we got to thank the one, the only, we got to thank Pigeon Salad for being such an awesome member. And then for being a Super Nerd 3, he's gone further beyond his support for, God, 15 months and then 11 months as a Super Nerd 3. Thank you so much, man. And then we have the Super Nerd 2, which is I Have Loved the Stars Too Fondly. Thank you, good sir, for being a Super Nerd 2 and an Ascended supporter. And finally, we have the Super Nerd 1s, which you can join for just 99 cents. We got GG Hearts, Nix, Lady Norris, K-Huck, McMuffin, Daniel J, and Annie. Oh, and Nix. Did I say Nix? I think I did. Anyway. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all the love and support you've shown this channel. I am Nerdy John, signing out. Hoping to bring